What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. It is Monday, and it's the Overreaction Show. I'm Anthony, aka Rasta. This is Get Right Fantasy Network, and I'm here with my boy Frank, Fishing Frank. What's up, Frank? How you doing
What's
tonight?
up, peoples? Doing good, doing good. What a crazy Monday Night Football game, huh?
Crazy game. Good place to start, if any, man. We
Yeah,
had the Kansas City Chiefs pull off the win after being down 17-0 against the Raiders, your Las Vegas Raiders. So, of course, I'm happy tonight. Had to throw the hat on, of course. Um, and yeah, man, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in this game. It was a great way to kind of end the week. Interesting week of football, man. Week 5 is in the books, and we're turning the page to week 6. Um, so yeah, man. So what did you think about this one? What stood out to you tonight in this Monday night game?
you know, uh, Adams is doing Adams things. That was nice. Kelsey still doing Kelsey things, right? 4 touchdowns and all that.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
obviously it's a divisional game, and I think it was turned out to be a lot closer than I probably think a lot of other people were thinking. You know what I mean? But I think Adams just is when the time's right and they know what to do. They're getting the ball to him. It looked fantastic. I think Kelsey's just been rolling the whole year, but he Adams had to have a comeback game, and I think he was getting slouched in there somewhere. And what do you have? I forget how many targets he had last week or whatever it was, how many throw he was. But they obviously fixed that this week, and that's a lot better. But I mean, I don't know how many teams are going to go with this analytics things or keep going for these 2 extra points instead of just kicking the extra point. Because
Crazy.
Baltimore's done it, Raiders done it. I mean, how many times you got to fall on your face before you realize, like, just take the points, like you know what I mean? Figure the rest out later.
Yeah, at first the Chiefs go for 2 for whatever reason. They could have went made it an 8-point game, forcing the
Yeah,
Raiders just to go for 2 to tie it, let alone to win. They don't get it. Um, and then, like you said, they come back, they actually score, and then instead of just going for the field goal to tie the game and maybe take your chances in overtime,
yeah.
they lose it. His knees down early, and here we are, 29-30. Um, One of the big things in the beginning of the game, of course, and something I kind of want to talk about here real quick, are these roughing the passing penalties, man. I won't get into it because it's just kind of like the big, huge topic right now, but I have to at least say something about it because it's getting just kind of ridiculous, you know? These guys are playing like full speed. Like, how are they supposed to like pull up? Like, I get it. Like, if you body slam someone like you did Tua, that should be a flag. That's considered unnecessary
That
roughness.
should be a fine.
But when you're just making a
No, I
football
like football.
play, I don't know how you can just stop and not like do this. And I'm like, are we going to get to the point where they just put a red practice jersey on these quarterbacks and when you get close, you just touch them and they blow the whistle dead? I mean, that's like the only thing I can think of is like that's the way we're headed, and it's terrible. It's supposed to be tackle football. Like that's why these guys are getting paid all this money. Of course, I get it. That's why they want to protect them. But like, that's what's part of the game, man.
See,
That's how the
the
defense
problem with
instills
this is that
fear.
they call it the refs call it right. So now they got to stick to it because you can't go backwards. Can't say, "Oh, I did that wrong" or "I called that wrong," because
They
then
should
it
just
goes to their
fix it.
credibility.
I
That
don't know
I
why
always
they
wanted to
can
be a proponent of having a red flag for a penalty like that to have like literally reviewed by New York or somebody
you should be
outside
able
of
to
the
challenge
stadium.
anything like in
Yeah,
basketball. Like, you have your 2 challenges, you should be able to challenge any call. Like, I don't understand why some things are
even a penalty,
reviewable
right?
and other
Be
things aren't.
like,
Like, it
yeah,
doesn't matter
exactly,
what it is. You should be able to
exactly.
challenge it. If you win, you get your challenge back because they screwed up, and if you
Yeah.
lose, then you lose your challenges, and then you can't challenge for the rest of the game. Like, if they're gonna do all these reviews under 2 minutes and all this stuff anyway, just give them the opportunity, whether it's pass interference, roughing the passer, because these are huge, momentum swings that are,
Oh yeah.
affecting the
They're game
outcomes of these
changers. They're
games.
game
Yeah,
changers. They're literally game changers.
it's
Like
outrageous. So
they can
again, I
determine the
know
whole game.
I've been joking. I'm like, for whatever reason, I've been falling into this whole get off my lawn kind of thing. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older. My birthday's coming up next month. Your birthday's coming up here
Yeah.
soon too. So I don't know what it is, man. I got this gray coming in. It must be just part of that. But either way, man, it's a little absurd.
Hey,
But like
funny
I said,
stat
the,
though.
the
I
Tua
read.
one wasn't even roughing the passer. Tua wasn't roughing the
Yeah,
passer, but
no.
the Brady and in this one tonight against
Yeah.
Carr, and the dude literally stripped the ball from him. Once he strips the ball and that ball's out, like, I don't know why, for first and foremost, that play should be reviewable if it's considered a turnover.
Yeah,
Like,
if it was
what
a turnover, they should have got the ball. For
should have been
sure,
able
he
to
stripped,
review that.
sacked him, like, the whole
That's what I
way.
mean. So it's considered a turnover. So I don't know how it's not ruled. Like you should be able to go back. And if they deem the ball was out, there shouldn't be a roughing the passer because there is no passer anymore. He has the ball. So once that happens, that call should have been negated and they should have had the ball. Either way, it's not going to happen. I'm obviously not on the rules committee. So
Right?
we'll just leave it at that. But
Funny
obviously
little thing, one
it's
last
getting
little thing I
crazy.
wanna
Go ahead.
mention because of Brady, and I think that even today where I was, drinking some beers and people were just talking about it, talking about the game, and they mentioned Brady and, the call, and they were like, "Oh, Brady always gets the calls." So, we looked it up, and I was a stat somebody pulled up. Brady's only got, like, 2 roughing the passers in, like, forever. Like, so really, it's not just Brady. I mean, other calls go his way, or somehow that team or whatever. It seemed like it used to be. The Patriots used to get all the calls. I mean, the Tuck rule came out of nowhere. Like, whoever even heard of that? Like, come on, you know what I mean? Like, I especially think that if you're in a Super Bowl, you shouldn't fucking call a rule that nobody's even heard of. So, anyways, but it's
Mhm.
just interesting that the perception is there that Brady gets all these calls, but in reality, not roughing the passer that much. So, man, I'll take it for what it's worth.
There it
Good human.
is. And shout out to everybody here in the chat, man. We appreciate you guys coming in here after the Monday night game. We got everybody in here, man. Shout out to Ron. Shout out to Fantasy Fish. Shout out to Drunk Squidward. We got Dim Boys in the house here tonight. What's up, Jonathan? We got Tony Clark in here, man. Our boy in here. Josh Jacobs winning him tonight, as we saw. And I was getting to another one here. I just saw that, man. We always tell him to keep us updated on his bets. And he ended up going 5 for 5 yesterday. He churned 32 grand into 117 grand.
Wow.
That's how you do it. Tony, we're gonna have to have you come on here and do our little sports betting segment or something.
Something,
Let
right?
us get in on what you're
Get it.
doing.
I got
So we
$5
can
on it.
I was gonna say, like, I'll just have to, take a couple zeros off. But I'd like to have some come up on that as well, too, my guy. But big shout out. Appreciate you joining us here, my brother. Glad you can make it. And Tycoon saying damn on that one. So that's what's up. And yeah, man, the chat's going crazy. I'll let you kind of get to that, kind of start going through that. I'll set us up here tonight. Just rolling into it. Like we said, we're doing our overreaction show, if you couldn't tell. Obviously overreacting here to this Monday night game and these penalties and whatnot. We're also going to get, of course, into the waiver wires, heading into week 6. Waivers, going to be tomorrow. We'll kind of talk, FAAB, guys we're looking at. And then more importantly, we have our bye weeks finally coming up. So hopefully you made it through this first part of the season and you're at least, 4-1, 3-2. You kind of want to at least have that positive
1-5.
momentum heading into the bye weeks because now you're going to start losing people, not just due to injury or
Yeah.
bad player performance. Now guys are just going to be out and you're going to be missing some key guys. So here in week 6, we have the Detroit Lions, the Houston Texans, Las Vegas Raiders, and the Tennessee Titans all are going to be on bye. So what does that mean? That means you're looking for replacements for guys like Derrick Henry, the King, Devontae Adams, who just went off for 124 and 2 touchdowns. You're not having that in your lineup this week.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, that we just saw going off, 26 carries for 154. The incredible part about Josh Jacobs is he's getting that passing game work right now. 5 for 5 for 36. In PPR, man, that's huge. That was one of kind of Josh Jacobs knocks. As why some people were kind of fading him, but shout out to the other folks. Shout out to Cal Beck, KJ Flint, these guys that have been on Jacobs. It's panning out, man. It's a prove it year for him. Whether he gets re-signed by the Raiders or maybe goes somewhere else, we'll see. Obviously, Derek Carr won't be there. Darren Waller, who actually got hurt in this game with a hamstring injury, he left. He's not only did you lose him tonight, where you probably started him, he'll be out next week. So might be some tight ends we're going to have to look at. Hunter Renfrow, who just came back. It looks like he was kind of on limited snaps. So you're looking for
Yeah, he's on the
replacements
snap
for
count.
him.
You could tell.
Absolutely. The heater, Damien Pierce, man, this guy's taking over that Texans backfield,
He's
coming
on
off 2
fire.
great games. you're going to be missing him in your lineups this week. Guys like Brandon Cooks, who might be a blessing, maybe that you can kind of get him out of your lineup now. Nico Collins, who's been, kind of showing up ever since kind of Cooks's production's been falling off. Nico Collins is kind of, starting to show there as the younger, guy. So maybe
Yeah, I
there's
like
kind of
that
a
guy. I wish I
switching of
could
the
have
guard,
held on to him.
right? So that's a guy we're going to look at here. Obviously, with Detroit, you have, Swift has, of course, been gone the last couple games, but Jamal Williams isn't going to be there anymore, who was he was most likely drafted, but obviously been, productive for people these last couple weeks. Amon-Ra St. Brown, who came back, kind of had a dud game on a little pitch count. He's going to be gone. And then, of course, Jared Goff, who's like the QB3 overall right now or something ridiculous. He's going to be out of your lineups as well. So we'll definitely get into all that. Before we do, I just want to let you guys know
You
that
just
are
got
in
into
here.
it. What are you talking about?
Well, it's just my little segue, I guess.
I know.
Before we get into more of the waiver wire stuff, is what I meant to say. I want to talk to you guys about UnderdogFantasy.com.
Oh, what's up?
Week 6 is here, man. The best ball resurrection. It's a $10 entry for a chance to win 100,000. Make sure you go check them out. UnderdogFantasy.com. Get your best ball draft lineups in there. Like I said, it's a best ball resurrection. So with the information you know now, the injuries, the outlooks, you can kind of get in and maybe redeem yourself, if you will. That's going to run from week 6 through week 17. So I'm sure those drafts are going to be closing about Wednesday, or maybe right up until game time on Thursday. So, go check them out. Use that promo code GetRight when you do, and they'll match your deposit up to $100, 100% match. And then, of course, they always have their pick'ems and daily rivalries and, all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun. You can win 20 times your money. So definitely check them out. And then, of course, our new sponsors here of the show, we have Trophy Smack. So if you're looking to get some, a ring, a championship belt, trophy, chains, they got it all. Make sure you guys go check them out at trophysmack.com. Use that promo code GetRight. Grab a belt, like we got. And they got a lot of stuff, man. So we might be throwing we're working on designing a ring here for the listener leagues next year. So, just stay tuned on that. So we got some good stuff coming. All right. So we'll do our other promos later, man. What else do we got in here? So we'll just kind of get into
late on the show trying to get that
you got it. No, well done. Well done. And for anything else, man, just make sure you guys hit that description. We got all the links to all that information there, all of our, other partner channels in here as well, too. Shout out to the Checkdown podcast. Shout out to WAGMI Fantasy and our newest addition to the network, the Fantasy Frontline with Tim and AJ. So make sure you check them out. They were live earlier. Hopefully you caught their show. Go give them a subscribe and support the Get Right family here. So I think I want to start off in Carolina just real quick. Obviously, Matt Rule got fired this morning, so they're cleaning house over there. Defensive coordinator Phil Snow was also fired as well, so they're out. Steve Wilkes, who I think was the coach of like the Cardinals or something a couple years ago, he's going to take over as the interim head coach. So we'll see what happens. He's the first, head coach to be fired here mid-season. Obviously, Panthers aren't, doing too well.
Feel about those.
About what? Mid-season firings?
Mid-season firings, yes.
Oh, you got to shake it up. Oh, as a CMC owner, I'm happy too. So hopefully he knows to get the ball to McCaffrey.
But I mean, do you think it's like detrimental to the team or even just continuing to win? Or do you think it just has to happen like a Band-Aid? You got to rip it off and move on.
It's kind of like giving someone a spanking. Sometimes you just got to put your foot down and show them that you mean business, that winning or losing is unacceptable, and that you want more. So, to me, I'm all for it. Shake it up. They weren't doing anything anyway. Hopefully this gets people on high alert and they could do something over there. And love that it was my Niners that got the coach fired, I guess, too. So shout out to the Niners there. But we'll get into that game, the actual game here a little more.
Because the Niners didn't. The other losses didn't matter, but the Niners.
But the Niners one got it. So so that was it. We were the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
Hammered that thing shut.
Sure.
Boom.
Yeah.
37-15. Let's go. All right. So let's get into it, man. Let's start with the London game. We had a nice, 6:30 a.m. game for us here on the West Coast. Started off with the Packers Giants. It was a pretty awesome game. Packers, looked like they were going to win it. Giants just kept hanging in there, battling. They end up winning 27-22. I believe Rodgers got picked off there at the end. It seems like it's happened so many games ago now. It feels like it was a week ago already. But it was a very interesting game. We had a little scare, of course, with Barkley going out with a little shoulder injury there for a while, but he did come back,
He just
so
came
that was
right back.
good. Yeah, he came. He actually went to the locker room. That's what was scary is he didn't just go to the tent. He went straight to
Yeah,
the
he went to
locker
the
room.
locker room.
So who knows what they did in there, and who knows what was going on just in general on that sideline. I don't know if you guys have seen some of the other, been on Twitter, seen some other videos of some guy getting worked on the sidelines, if you will. So just make sure go check out our at Get Right Fantasy on Twitter. We retweeted the video there of one of the trainers working out at some kind of quad injury. It was just a bad angle and looked pretty bad. So if you want a little laugh, go check us out
Yeah,
there
that
on
was all
Twitter.
bad.
So that was pretty funny. But yeah, man. So Barkley doing Barkley things, man. He's looking good this year. Goes 13 for 70, and a touchdown, 3 catches for 36 yards. Um, you know, obviously Giants were without all their, receivers. It was just a very interesting game. But one thing I did see, obviously, this is the waiver show. So one guy that, I kind of had that might be worth a pickup here coming into the bye weeks is Darius Slayton. Obviously, he's been hurt for a while, kind of fell behind a lot of guys. They're trying to bring a lot of receivers in because there's just kind of been a carousel in New York. But, he came in, had 6 catches for 75 yards, didn't score. But, he's only 2% owned on Sleeper and 0% owned on Yahoo, apparently. So, maybe he's someone that if you're in a, sticky situation, might be someone you can target there. Anyone else from this game or any comments that you have about it?
I just seen like because you were mentioning about when he got intercepted and stuff like that. It seemed like he was so disinterested in the game. Like sometimes, like he was already getting kind of beat. Rogers himself, like that's what I'm talking about. But Rogers just seemed like it was defeated by them just sticking in there and just kind of grinding and grinding on him. But anytime that Rogers loses, I'm happy about it. But he's also on my team. But you know, sometimes that kind of goes hand in hand. That's basically it. I don't know. He seems like blah. It seemed like blah in the game to me. I don't know if you've seen that. You know what I'm talking about. And that worries me, him going forward, because I have him in some teams, and you want him to be like, I need to get that win. You need the fire in the eyes, and I don't see that too much for him.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. So we'll see. Anything else, or you want to move on?
No, that's enough of the. Yeah, I mean,
All right, so
really, yeah,
we're gonna try to be quick here, guys. We'll
yeah.
we'll see if we can kind of power through these here, be a little more buttoned up for you, and just deliver you guys the information we have on these reactions and who we're thinking for waivers here. So next game we had, probably one of the more interesting, well, not like interesting from that standpoint, but just from a domination, perspective. We had the Pittsburgh Steelers, Buffalo Bills game, Steelers 3, Bills 38. Bills came in favored, by 14 on this one, so they well covered that. I think I joked on Friday with the 45.5 point over under. I think I literally said, what is it going to be, 42-3? But I was just off by a little bit. It was 38-3. So you guys can go back to the Friday episode and check me on that one. But as far as injuries go in this game, Pat Fairmouth goes out with a concussion. He did not return. He is in the concussion protocol. But obviously, the big story here in this game was, and we'll leave it for you.
I didn't even watch the game. Sorry.
Oh, no, you didn't get that one. Gabe Davis, man. Fan
Oh, I
favorite.
seen that part.
Oh, okay, yeah. So everybody saw that, right? 98-yard
Yeah.
touchdown, man, on 3rd and 10 on the opening drive after a muffed punt or a muffed kickoff, left him at the 2-yard line. And then, basically didn't kind of go crazy all day. He just goes, 3 catches for 171, 2 touchdowns, caught another 68-yard touchdown later. Just basically, I mean, I think it was like an interception, fumble for a touchdown, like fumble recovery for a touchdown. Like
Yeah.
Mika Fitzpatrick intercepted it. Gabe Davis just ripped it out of his hands, and it was a touchdown. So, is what it is, man. Allen's the man. 424, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. I mean, this guy's on fire. This team looks just crazy unstoppable. They're that rare mix of shout out to Tycoon. I see him in here. I think he said it best in our chat. They're that mix of high elite offense, with elite defense, and that's just basically a championship, team.
And
And let
since you
alone,
mentioned that guy,
go ahead. There it
Gabe
is. See,
Davis
I
jersey
was gonna
giveaway, man.
see. There you go, man. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, man. If you're joining us here, subscribe to the channel. because when we hit 600, man, we're gonna give away this Gabe Davis signed jersey. It's there. There's a closer look at it for you. So make sure you get in, tell
It's
your
legit.
friends, tell
It's
your
the real
family
deal.
about it. It's an awesome jersey, guys. We want to give this thing away, and we want to give more stuff away. So help us get to 600 so we can get to that next milestone and give other stuff out, man. So we appreciate it. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, that like button helps just as much. So I
Yeah,
think
but I
we
went
already
to
had
other
like
games
6
because it was
likes.
such a blowout, though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
what we're gonna watch there, and the Bills just beating up on the Steelers. You know what I mean? I did catch the highlight. Obviously, I watch Red Zone, so you see the touchdown. So
absolutely. Yeah,
that's the only reason I kind of switched over. I was trying to see something that was like more competitive.
for sure. Diggs goes 8 for 102 and a touchdown in this one. The crazy thing here is Najee only 11 carries for 20 yards, no touchdowns, only gets 3 catches for 16 yards. The most interesting part of all this is Warren is actually coming in on third down. The whole point of Najee was, he wasn't that efficient, but he was getting the volume, the touches. He led
Yeah,
the league last year in touches. They said they were going to dial it back. Pittsburgh's been a workhorse backfield since all of us can even remember, since the start of football, basically.
yeah,
So to see actually a little bit of a split, happening is almost kind of telling. So just keep your eyes if you can get off of Najee now. For someone
and
who
I
doesn't
like the
really kind of
rookie.
see
The
it,
rookie looks good, man.
yes, I mean people are saying he has some juice, things like that. I'm a little hesitant. I don't care who you put behind that line. I mean that's just the problem. To
That's just
me,
it's all bad, right?
it's the issue. But yeah, man, someone I'm looking at in this game is going to be Khalil Shakir. He's a guy I mentioned also on Friday to look out for, knowing that Crowder and McKenzie were out. He goes 3 for 75 and a touchdown. He's only 7% owned on Sleeper, 2% owned in Yahoo. So again, with these bye weeks coming up, if you need a replacement, obviously you want to just try to get a piece of this offense. And you can see what he can do here. So,
But I would
um,
keep an eye on McKenzie. If you haven't picked him up, you could pick him up. And he still was, being productive. And I still think that with this kind of offense, why not have any kind of piece that you can from it?
absolutely,
Because he was showing that he was the man, that he was getting all the targets versus what's his counterpart, Cook, or what's his name? I always forget, man. I always get high, man. I can't even fucking remember this stuff. Uh,
for
but
who?
for
Opposite of who?
the backup to Zay McKenzie, basically.
Oh well, Crowder. Like they're both the slot
Crowder, Jameson,
receivers.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
both, yeah. Crowder, that's what I was thinking, Jameson Crowder.
Okay.
So I would stick with Isaiah McKenzie. He's still not very much owned. Yahoo's 48%, ESPN's 26. I'm not sure how much it is on Sleeper, but somebody. I mean, if you need somebody, that's
Absolutely.
I'd like to have somebody on a high power offense that scores a lot. You could you never know, you might get that touchdown that week or two or three. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Who you? Any other waivers you got from this game? Anyone you're looking at?
Um, Not that well. You got what? What do you got? We got written down. Kenny Pickett. Um, but he's got 327, 0, 1 INT. Um, but he's going to go to San Francisco next week or where?
Hmm? Yeah, I haven't looked at the schedule next week. I'm not sure where Pittsburgh is. But for me, I mean, as far as Pickett goes, pick him up in Superflex. I think it's okay to grab him there. In one QB, I mean, you're not playing him, in one QB leagues at this point. There's 12 other, 15 other quarterbacks you could easily grab there. But if you're desperate, maybe you can grab him. But again, I'm just kind of fading, most of this Pittsburgh offense. Except for maybe George Pickens. He is 71% owned on Sleeper, probably just more because of the dynasty leagues on there. Only 55% on Yahoo, so he fits under that 65% threshold, which is why he made it worth the mention here. So again, he might be available out there. Pickett, does look like he throws to him. So, definitely a guy, you want to have stashed, I think. They're going
Yeah,
to
I
be
think both
behind,
of them stats.
so they're going to have to throw.
I can pick it in one of the leagues, but it's a like you're saying, it's a super flex league, and he's only going to be in there for one game, possibly for these bye weeks that are coming up, and he'll be gone pretty soon, anyways.
Right. So yeah, so we'll wrap that up. I want to get to a couple questions here, man. Shout out to the chat. You guys are going crazy in
Oh
here.
yeah, there's
I
all kinds of
love
stuff.
it. Trying to stay up with it. But I see we got A
There's
in
all-
here. That looks new. If you're new to us here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Keep the questions coming, man. We'll get to them in between our breakdowns here, and our waivers. But yeah, just keep them coming. So he says, "What's your thoughts on trading Kamara and D Hop for AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones, and Sutton. So what do you think about that, Frank? Kamara, D-Hop, and Dillon for Jones, Dillon, and Sutton. Which side would you rather have? And it's a full PPR, he says.
Full PPR. Traded Kamara and D-Hop for AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones and Sutton. I'd go for the Aaron, because you're getting one guy really right there. Because you're not starting both Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. They're both on the same team, so you're really getting one guy and Sutton.
Yeah.
Now
To me,
you're looking at D-Hop that hasn't come into the league yet. I don't know. Hold on, let me answer. Let me think about it.
Oh, I thought you did. Hurry up, man. We gotta rapid these things. Let's go. Which side are you taking? A or B?
I'm gonna go with
quick
B.
decision. All right. So you're taking the quantity versus the quality. I'm on the other side of this. I'm taking Kamara and D-Hop. We saw Kamara kind of have a little bounce back game this week. We've seen kind of that offense in Arizona. I think they're just dying to get D-Hop back. Let's just hope, he's, who he was at least kind of last year. You never know when these wide receivers hit that cliff, hit that plateau. But there's definitely targets that are going to be available in that offense. So I'd take my chances.
I'm just worried about Kamara and the whole quarterback situation over there. Although it did help, he did have a decent game, but
yeah, over 100 yards rushing.
I don't know.
We'll get to it.
Still worried about. I'm worried about him. That's why I was. And then D-Hop hasn't played, so I don't even know where you're going to get this year from him.
For sure. I'm gonna give you a teaser, man. On Wednesday show, that's our roster management, buy, sell, trade targets. Come back and join us on Wednesday, and we'll give you a more in-depth breakdown, of the trades and things like that. But for now, we'll kind of keep it moving a bit. But we're kind of split decision here. So there it is. I mean, good luck.
I figure you could take AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones, and then turn around and trade one of those guys away and get another guy.
Maybe if we're just
over the quantity. Yeah, well, I'm just saying
that easy.
We'll that's funny. Sale on my team here pretty soon.
That's
everybody's gonna go for sale.
All right, so let's see. We got Drunk Squidward in here agreeing with me, saying I wouldn't do it. He'd keep Kamara and D-Hop coming back. We're only a couple games away, so if you've been holding D-Hop this whole time, don't trade him now. And if you are, at least kind of trade up. Sutton might be losing Wilson. We don't know about his shoulder hole situation. He flew out to LA this week. So I'd rather keep Kamara and D-Hop there.
Right.
Absolutely. So let's see what else we got in here. I thought you were going to be on the chats in here.
Who, me? I'll get on top of it. I'm already right here. Look, we got Drunk Squidward, who's talking about Seahawks offense is legit. Picked up Geno Smith and started him as a hot QB. And I wanted to mention, I was going to mention him later on. I said Geno Smith is doing some legit stuff, and he's startable. Like, hey, what's up with that dude? Because we were just talking about Pickens over here, and I was like, he's a dude to look at for bye weeks, especially.
Tease it, Frank. Wait for the Seattle breakdown, man. See, you got to bring the comment up when we're talking about the team, or else we're gonna say the same thing 5 times. That's why we're here for 3 hours.
All right.
So just read them, have them queued up and ready to go. So when we get there, you got the show sheet. You know when to bring it up. You know how to you get the flow, my guy. You'll get it. You'll get it.
Yeah, man. Who was he talking about the Super Bowl?
Who was I don't know, man. Probably something we were talking about earlier.
And we're way behind. That's what I'm saying. Like this is like way behind.
This is awesome, man. Keep it rolling, guys. Empty the FAAB on Taysom. We'll get into that for sure. Kenneth Walker, little tease there when we talk about Seattle, man. So let's get into it. I just want to give the shout out to everybody here. Shout out to Albert, man. Somebody dropped Walker in one of his leagues last week. It always seems to happen. So it's going to be a shootout there for him. And yeah, man, it's crazy. So I'll let you kind of go through the rest of those. If you see any questions, anyone there, just definitely keep an eye out for new names for sure. And
I got you.
Let you guys hold it down in there. So yeah, let's move on.
I got Walker, and I've been holding on to Walker, by the way, guys.
Oh yeah, me too. I have him in both our Yahoo leagues, man. In our home leagues.
I got him in one of them.
No, you don't. Not in the ones we're in. You must have him in a different one.
Fucking phone.
You got a different Walker. Better check that. If you want him, I'll trade him. Just hit me up. Let me know. All right, so we'll move on. We got Los Angeles Chargers, Cleveland Browns. Chargers 30, Browns 28. So Chargers get the win. No significant injuries in this game here. Basically Eckler's back to being Eckler things. So those of you guys who panicked, traded him earlier, you kind of messed up, traded the RB1. You're bad. again, this is why I say when these untradeable guys become available, take your chances and go get them. And just do it, especially if you're trading guys that you're either picking up off the wire or maybe you drafted as RB2s or 3s who are kind of overperforming early. Buy low, sell high. That's the name of the game. Eckler goes 16 carries, 173, obviously a big 71-yard run, where he actually got caught. He didn't even score on that one, but does still get a touchdown, 4 catches for 26 and another touchdown. So a big game for him. We have Mike Williams, of course, with Keenan Allen out, goes for 10 and 134, no touchdown there. But we had kind of a battle of the the fantasy RBs here. Nick Chubb, RB2 overall right now. He has a great game. 17 carries for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the real promising thing, here is Njoku churning out another 6 for 6 for 88. No touchdown on this one. But as far as tight ends go, that's kind of what you're looking for right now. In a PPR, getting 14.8 points out of your tight end is nice, especially someone who was maybe drafted really late or picked up off the wire. So definitely check him out. But one, person that I didn't really have, no real injuries or anything that kind of happened in this one. But the one person that I kind of, would say just to kind of keep your eye on, I don't know if he's really worth stashing right now, but if you have an open spot, maybe you can pick up, someone like this, is Josh Kelly. He did actually get 10 carries, to Eckler's 16, goes for 46 yards and gets, a touchdown in there as well. He's the handcuff to own. It looks like they're 4% owned on Sleeper, only 1% owned on Yahoo. So, check him out.
And they used him in the past. It's not the first sighting from him.
Yeah.
It's not. He's not new news. You know what I mean? Like he's always been hanging around. He used to actually last year. He was going to be the guy that was stealing a lot more of his carries from Eckler, but then Eckler kind of solidified his role, and that was enough of that. But I mean, if like you're saying, if Eckler does go down, shoot, Kelly's in it for sure.
Exactly. Anyone else you got in this game, or we're gonna move on?
No, we're moving on. We're just kind of
Right.
turn and burn, man. You already got
Let's
it all
go,
set
man.
up, anyway. So
Let's go. You want to do this next one? Houston Texans, Jacksonville? Take it away. I'm gonna get in
all
the
right.
chats.
Perfect. Well, I was trying to scroll down through there, but Houston Texans 13, Jacksonville Jaguars 6. Another good win for the Texans there, surprisingly, because Jacksonville had a pretty good defense and they've been holding it down. So good for the Texans there. Jags favored by 7 at that point. Over under was 43.5, so they didn't get anywhere near that. Injuries, really none. The game notes is that Pierce, Damien Pierce happens to still be the guy. People were looking at him early on in the season. It took him a little while to get going, but now he's going. He's RB8 overall with PPR at 26 with 99 and a touchdown. So 26 touches is nice. He also got 3 receptions, 5 targets for 14 yards, 0 touchdowns on that part of it. But I mean, 26 and 99 and 1. So I mean, you only needed 1 more yard to get the bonus in our league that we
That's
offer.
31 touches, 31 plays designed for Damien Pierce. I don't care what offense he's on. I want that guy
You want
on
that,
my
dude,
team.
right? And then a role reversal here with J. Rob and ATN. ATN got 10 to 71.
ETN
So
season, baby, to the
so he's
moon.
getting some.
Where's
He's getting
Tycoon
some
at?
now.
Talk to me,
Still
son.
zero touchdowns, 3 receptions, 5 targets for 43 yards. Also, which is nice. He's getting the receiving yards as well. 0 touchdowns there. But J. Rob's falling off on this one, man. 10 for 27, again 0. And it's basically his worst rush defense. It might be changing of the guard. So 2 bad games for Kirk. So keep an eye on him. And Cooks is slowing down. So, but I wanted to, J. Rob. I don't know if he's going down that much, man. I think we gotta pump the brakes, see what happens with the next game. But I think it's gonna be a committee there. You're gonna get a guy that gets a touchdown one week and get the other guy that gets the touchdown next week, or maybe it's whatever. I just don't see them going one way or the other. You know what I mean? Like you can't go wrong having either one of them. But hopefully they could still produce. Is what the problem is, right?
That's the comment I was looking for. ETN season is here. This is the start. Let's go, baby. Let's go. It's just interesting, man. This is what we're talking about. Like ETN is explosive. Like you can just see the difference. Like, yeah, J Rob's good. I don't think I'm not saying ETN's gonna come in and get 31 carries a game or touches, like Pierce, but he's gonna get the high value, opportunities. Jacksonville most likely is probably gonna be behind when they start playing, better competition, just like we kind of saw here. And the fact of the matter is he doesn't really need 20, 30 touches to be fantasy relevant. He can do it on the ground. These runs when he's in, he has these opportunities to break them. And of course, just his receiving upside. The crazy part of his game right now is actually the drops, which are more interesting. Week 1, we know he dropped 2, potential touchdowns, or dropped 1, got overthrown on another one by Lawrence. And just, there's been so many moments here to where the whole stock rise of ETN could have happened so much earlier. But it's almost better if you're trying to target and get him now. So if you can, especially in PPR leagues, man, go buy him. I don't know if he's like kind of quite start worthy yet. Maybe now that we're coming into bye weeks, he will be. But I think it's coming, man. And again, let alone anything does happen to J-Rob, man.
Oh yeah, either one of these guys.
He should be doing well. So let's see. Oh, Tony Clark was saying 4 of the 5 bets were in that Jags Texans game. So that's where he made a lot of the money there. That's what's up, man. Yeah, we need to talk. I saw your question earlier. He said he'd be down for coming in and do a little sports betting section for us. So hit me up, man. We're on Twitter. Shoot me a DM. We might have to talk.
Right.
We'll get you on here. We'll work that out. All right. So let's see. And then of course there's the other side of this. Just like Fantasy Fish is here, I'm not sold on ATN. Feels like a hot hand scenario. So there's definitely that take about it. Which side are you on, Frank? Are you on the ATN
That's what
side?
I think.
Like, where are you at?
I'm not saying that ATN is just a happened a good game or whatever today or whatnot. I think it's going to be a hot hand like scenario is Fantasy Fish is saying. I said it earlier, one game, one guy's going to get you the touchdown. The next game, the other guy's going to get you the touchdown. They're going to be splitting carries. I think it's going to be more of a RBBC, and that's it. And I'm okay with that. I'd be comfortable starting either one because you never know. It is fantasy football. You know what I mean?
For sure. What's up, Dustin? Hey, if you can, if you get my nephew to sleep early, man, and you want to come join us here, we'll be on for a while. Come grab a video or a camera, throw it on. Come on and join us, brother. He's saying he got ETN for Pacheco. That's a great trade. Those are the kind of trades we're trying to make right there. And yeah, man, I love it. We got everybody in here talking about this ETN J-Rob. It's like you're on the one side, fence for the other. Dustin says, I drop ETN for Brees. I probably would too. And we'll get into that game here soon as well too. Brees Hall definitely showed out. We have Tycoon here saying just J-Rob's usage has declined 3 straight weeks, and it's been bad except for 2 long runs all season. ETN's just a more efficient player, and his touches are rising because of it. So follow the touches, and you won't be painted wrong. But Ron's saying that's not how Dougie P works, man. And Ron knows, big Eagles fan in the house. Shout out to the Eagles, 5-0. I know you don't want to hear that. I know Dustin doesn't want to hear that. And I know Mike doesn't want to hear that.
We only got one loss, shoot.
Oh, see, we'll get there too, man.
Hey, we're also the only team.
Look at the NFC least over there doing things.
Hey, the NFC least supposedly was going to be the least, but yeah, where we are now, right?
The power division, right?
And the Cowboys are the only team that beat the 2 champion NFC Super Bowl guys last year.
Correction, Cooper Rush has beaten the 2 Super Bowl teams so far this year. So that's interesting, man. That's right? Interesting. Absolutely. We got Chris Poncio in here. I believe that's how you say it. What's up, man? If you're new to the stream, new to the channel, Get Right Fantasy Network, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button for us. If you're already subscribed, hit that like button. It helps just as much. Says here, would you trade Jay Jettis and Joe Mixon for Saquon and Nick Chubb? I mean, the answer for me is pretty much no. Like, I think you're okay with Jay Jettis and Joe Mixon. Like, I mean, it's not a bad package.
Saquon's
like,
number 1 right now, though. Dude.
Hurting for RB, but like, Justin Jefferson is that dude, man. Like, and as a receiver, like, I couldn't do it. I mean, I'd like to try to maybe move something for Mixon, but I don't think you need that big of a star power package. Like, I would just take Jefferson out of the picture, throw Joe Mixon and something else. I know you got other stuff on there. See if you can just get one of those guys. Joe
Why would
Mixon
you trade
maybe somebody
Saquon
else
for something less, though, dude?
For Saquon and Chubb. So what's that?
Why would you trade Saquon for something less than though?
No, he's saying, well, I don't know which side he's on, but
I'm just saying either side, though. If the other guy is on the other side, why would you take something less than Justin Jefferson for Saquon? Saquon's number 1 right now.
Well, yeah, that's why the trade's how it is. But what I'm saying is scratch this whole idea of this trade. Like, that's just too much for me. like I'd focus on just trying to get one of these running backs. Like, what's it going to take Mixon and what to get one of these guys? Like, that's where I would look. Like, who's your other receiver? Like, if he needs a receiver, like maybe you could pull that off. Most likely it's not. Like, I would just probably stick with the Jefferson and Mixon side just because I think better things are ahead for Mixon. He hasn't been quite who we thought he was going to be so far, but he doesn't really have competition in that backfield. So I'd rather just kind of, stick to that. But that's just me. Where are you at? You're
I
still
would just stick somebody else instead of Nick Chubb, and leave Saquon in there, or Nick Chubb, and then throw a wide receiver in there on the other side of it. And I think it would even out only because I like trading players for like you know what I mean.
yeah.
Like it would even it out for
I'm
me.
not.
That's two
Yeah.
running backs and then one wide receiver, one running back. Just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Let's
Taysom
see.
again.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, we'll get into
He
Taysom
is
here
boomer
soon for
bust.
sure. Who else we got? Oh, Dustin's actually saying 100%. So he would do that trade, but we know Dustin is RB heavy. He likes his RB robust heavy teams there. So there it is. And what else we got in here? Anything else? Nick Chubb, Saquon are those dudes. Yeah, we know those are like Dustin's favorite guys right there. So what else we got in here? He's saying he does have AJ Brown and Hopkins coming back soon. I would try to, throw AJ Brown and mix them together. See if you can get Chubb and some other receiver there. Maybe take a little downgrade in receiver. Maybe you can make that happen. So, anyway, we'll move on.
All right, we'll get back to the games real quick.
I love reading your guys' chat, man. I'm just intrigued. Like, I almost want to just get off the stream and go hang out in the chat.
Well, I'll keep it moving real quick. I'll read the next one up.
Oh wait, hold on. We didn't get to the waivers. We didn't get to the waivers. Hold on. We didn't get to the waivers
on that one. Oh, waiver. We got what? What do we got? Marvin Jones.
Yeah, it kind of got crazy with the ETN tick there, but yeah. So Marvin Jones might be someone to look at.
104 yards, 13% a sleeper, 5% on Yahoo. You mentioned Nico Collins.
Yep, Nico Collins. He went 4 for 65 this week. He went 3 for 82 last week. His snap share percentage is increasing, so he's on the field more. He's earning the roles, earning the targets. He's 85% owned on sleeper already. Nico Collins is most likely again because of the dynasty lean heavy on that. But 22% on Yahoo. So he's most likely available in your Yahoo leagues. And again, with the bye weeks coming up, might be someone to just kind of keep your eye on.
For sure.
All right, now we can move on. Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings.
Chicago Bears, Bears go for 22. The Minnesota Vikings get you that 29 and the win. Vikings were favored for 7.5, and the over/under was 44. So we're good there. No real injury notes on this one. The game notes we got for Cook were 18 of 94 for 2 touchdowns. JJ went for 12 of 154 and 0. And David Montgomery is back to RB1 role, while Herbert only carries 4 for 12 and 20 with 1 reception for 4 yards and 62, or one catch, 4 receptions, 62 yards. But didn't Demon get hurt at some point? I remember seeing an injury for him when I was watching part of the game, I guess. He must have came back all right after that. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, what do we got for waiver wires, Ant?
I don't really have anyone kind of for this game. I mean, if somebody ends up dropping Herbert now that Montgomery's back, he only got, I think, 4 carries in this one. I think that's what you mentioned. It's just for me, like you want Herbert. So if someone ends up dropping him here during the bye weeks, if you have a roster spot, definitely get him. If Demont gets hurt, but as expected, Demont did come back, and take that full roll back. And yeah, other than that,
it's just kind of crazy. Why do they? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you can see Herbert got some talent. Why don't they give him more shots?
Yeah, it's I mean, it just is what it is, man. Sometimes it's just that offense. It's that thing that they paid this guy that, for that reason. They want to get their money's worth, and sometimes it is, that's what it is. They want to keep the younger guy, fresh. So that, if Demont, does move on or they move on from him,
they got somebody already ready.
They got somebody already ready to go. So who knows? It is new coaching, new coaching regime over there, I believe. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, other than that, this game was pretty interesting, but definitely Justin Jefferson, as we said, 12 catches, 154 yards, 122 of that was like in the first half. He could have literally went for like 300 yards. This is the second time they've done this where he's gone for over 100 yards in the first half and then like disappears in the second half. Like, I don't know if it's just I don't know if it's the team's kind of adjusting to that and they're just like, well, you can beat us with anybody else, but Justin Jefferson, we're just going to take him away and force you to use other people.
He's not going to be the guy, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so in that case, it's nice to have Cook that can, like you said, go for 18, 94 and 2 touchdowns. It was nice to see that. But yeah, other than that, I can move on with this game here.
Yeah.
Detroit Lions at New England Patriots, man. Patriots stomp them. I mean, they just came in there like one of the highest producing offenses. They just put up 45 points last week. The hoodie comes in and says, "Nah, you ain't doing that to us." Pretty much put a stop to all that business. I don't know if I've ever seen a team go from scoring 45 points one week to literally 7 days later can't even put up a field goal. So like can't even get a field goal range to put up a field goal. So that's tough, man. And the Patriots even lost Damien Harris early to a hamstring in this one, which kind of allowed for the Stevenson breakout.
Stevenson just to blow
obviously one of those big guys we were talking during draft season, for those hero and zero RB builds. So again, this is it's tough when you get an in-game injury like this. But if you remember from the Friday show, we were saying start both of these running backs. I mean, Detroit's been giving up the most rushing yards to running backs so far this year. Just came off giving up 48 points last week when they lost 48-45. So you wanted to get these guys in there. We knew the New England, offense runs through these running backs. So again, Harris left, and that allowed Stevenson to go 25 carries. He got 100% of the snaps after Harris left.
Oh yeah.
25 carries, 161 yards. Didn't get any touchdowns. Only had 2 catches for 14 yards. But I mean, like we said, this guy's owned, 88%, and Yahoo 84% in sleeper. So it's not necessarily fits our waiver wire, percentage, but that means there is still some leagues where he's out. We'll have to see how serious the hamstring injury is with Harris. Knowing that they have Stevenson, do they even rush him back? Do they just sit him for the week? So again, he's kind of worth, playing.
They'll bring another running back in and mess the whole thing up for Stevenson.
I was literally just about to say that, like, just when you think, like, even if Harris was going to sit, he'll probably get like 5 carries for 15 yards next week, just because, like, that's what Belichick's going to do. He doesn't like feeding into the fantasy world. So anything he can do to just
he knows,
screw people over.
He's just going to do it somewhere.
He's like, we're just going to, it's going to be like, he's going to call Josh McDaniels and sign Brandon Bolden since they're on a bye. The Raiders are on a bye this week. Have him come back over and just play for the game or something weird like that. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
But on the other side of the ball, Amon-Ra St. Brown, my guy, did have a terrible game. So, he did come back from an injury. So, and obviously they got whooped on. So there wasn't really much there for him. So hopefully he's back 100%, after this bye week, because they're going to go on a bye along with Swift, who I also have. And I need both of those guys to come back healthy so he could get the rhythm rolling again here. So, those are the 2 guys I'm looking forward to, seeing them come back.
Absolutely. And they're going off in the chat there, I don't want to say arguing, but having a nice, back and forth
battle
about, J-Rob and ETN, that whole thing. We got Ron in here saying that, people thought he was crazy last year, saying he's been talking about J-Rob for 3 years. And I was a big J-Rob fan as well, too. I picked him up, when he had his breakout, rookie season, when they traded Lenny, over to Tampa Bay that year. I was on him, man. I had him. Help me, win. That's part of the reason, why I had that belt a couple years ago. And, it is what it is. But like Tycoon was saying, he said,
bets going on.
Yeah, he has no recency bias going on whatsoever. Like, Tycoon his brand is all about, Swift and ETN. Like, if Tycoon, if you watch a show, The Fantasy Boardroom, which make sure you go check it out and subscribe to The Fantasy Boardroom. Like you said, that's all the proof you need, man. He's all about ETN and Swift. He has a Swift, jersey up in the corner. And he's been trying to get ETN from me like since last year. It's just not happening because we're both have that same feeling. We can't agree on a price there. So and with his stock going up now, it's probably definitely not gonna happen. There was a small chance there where it could have happened, but now I think he's just kind of mine. So we'll see. But yeah, man, you guys keep it going there in the chat. again, you guys got any questions or anything or any comments, just keep them coming here, man. I appreciate you guys. Hope you guys are enjoying it in there in the chat and hanging out here with us on
Oh yeah,
a
they're hanging
Monday
out.
night.
They're enjoying plenty.
That's what we do here, man. We're
They
just
need
here
to have
talking
some bets
football,
over
man.
there.
This is
They
what it
got more
is.
bets going on.
Yeah, for sure.
So we got waiver
Yes,
wires on this game. So
just like my
move on.
love for B. Rob, and we're gonna get into that soon, Ron. We are gonna get into that soon. So yeah, man. So as far as this game goes, like we said, not too much to talk about in this blowout. But there are, some potential waiver guys here. One guy I do want to mention, Jacoby Myers, man. It was nice to see him back. He was back, activated. It was hard to know whether you could even start him or not because, of course, he's questionable. We all know how New England is with their reports. They don't give you any information about,
No,
how they are. Like they're just like, oh, game time decision, which normal, people are like, oh, you probably shouldn't start him. He probably practiced a full week, but they just said limited. And he comes out, has 7 for 111 and actually scores a touchdown, man, with Zappy throwing him the ball. So check it out. Maybe there's a difference there. Maybe we want to keep him there. But Myers goes 7 for 111 and a touchdown. He's only 62% owned in Sleeper, 48% owned in Yahoo. So he fits that, 65% and under. He's most likely out there for you. Again, if you need a wide receiver, 3 wide receiver, PPR leagues, go snag this guy up if he got dropped or people were underperforming. I think he'll still, produce rest of the season. We've seen him do it, even in this offense.
Yeah.
Anybody else you got in this game here, Frank?
Did you mention Josh Reynolds though?
No, I didn't. Go. You want to do it? Go ahead.
Josh Reynolds went for 6 and 92, 0 touchdowns, 46% sleeper, 30% on Yahoo, 31% on Yahoo. So yeah, it's the second week in a row I think that he's getting some nice touches and looks. So definitely worth the pickup.
Yeah, I've started him the last 2 weeks. I've been out Michael Thomas, so he's kind of slid right in there, and produced, nice for me. And, the only thing you have to be worried about, of course, is with Reynolds is, do we see Jameson Williams come back? Jameson Williams, one of those guys. Like if he's out there, go get him. He's going to be coming back hopefully soon. I was going about this on and on with Classic Mike earlier today since I stayed home sick from work. I've been sick still, just trying to recover, man. But Jameson Williams, man, is that dude. Like, I don't know if people know, like, this dude's 6'2, like 189, 190. Like, he's a pretty big dude, pretty strong. Like, and he's fast, man. Like, there's Tyreek Hill, Jameson Williams, and Jalen Waddle. Like, he's faster than Jalen Waddle, not quite as fast as Tyreek Hill. Waddle and Tyreek Hill are 5'10. This dude is 6'2 at that speed. Just think about that. So, yes, he is coming off the ACL. Hopefully he, can continue to get more polished as a route runner, work on his hands, just keep getting better as a professional. I'm not saying he just comes out and, blazes it right away. Maybe it doesn't even happen this year, but I still think he's worth the risk, for what you would have to pay, so to speak. He's worth the risk. If he's out there, get him on your lineups and let's just see, what he can do in this offense, with Amon-Ra St. Brown, with Swift coming back, with Jamal Williams, there's enough, to where the defense can't just focus on him. So he could be that nice deep shot until he works, on some of those other, routes and things like that. But he's just electric. He's kind of like ETN, man. He's just one of those guys that he's just kind of like that dude. So again, could be just me, but the film and stuff I watch, he's just one of those guys. And remember, he was drafted, 7th overall, I believe, by Detroit, with the torn ACL. So just put that in perspective. Torn ACL, went 7 overall, first round, and the real NFL draft.
ACLs aren't what they used to be, though, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So there it is.
Enders. Well, we got one here from Tron, dude.
I was going with this, yeah, but I was just gonna say he says he has Jameson stash on IR.
Oh,
so
nice,
that's what we want to do.
Jameson
but go ahead, yeah. What up?
So what's up, Tron? So we got a trade for J-Rob, for Kirk or London. I have JT, Swift, Pierce, and Etienne. My receivers are Deontay, Gabe Davis, and Hollywood and Thielen. So these guys are already like Kirk already. Kirk ideally, but London is acceptable. I do think the wide receiver group needs help.
I agree. I would make the trade if you can. And Ron, of course, is going to say you are selling them kind of low. Maybe you wait one more week and see maybe if he has a little bit better game, so you're not kind of selling him, at the basement like you said.
Yeah.
But try to see if you can, get someone. Like I said, that's why I would lean kind of Kirk, with ETN. Like Is that going to kind of take away some targets from Kirk out of the slot? I don't know. Like, we'll see how it all kind of ends up playing out. But again, if you have that need, if you're good on, the running backs, I think so, man.
I sold
I
them
mean,
for pennies. I don't regret selling chips. It's just for picks.
it was for more picks. Okay. And especially if it's 2023 picks, I mean, it's not bad. You're not
Yeah.
going to probably get a comparable wide receiver. I mean, this was the draft class for wide receivers, but
What?
next draft class is.
I gotta bring this up. Isaac Becca, sorry, Brees,
Oh no,
Lenny,
talk to it.
and Kelsey lost 157 to 160.
Dang, that's a
Wow,
tough loss, man.
that's a
What'd
rough
you have?
day.
Did you have like Wilson or Stafford or something like that? Like, who let you down?
Yeah,
Because
who was
those
the
guys,
letdown, guys?
yeah, because those guys all scored great, man.
That's sorry, man. Sorry
That's
about that.
tough, man. Hey, we appreciate it. Thanks for joining us too, man. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for us if you haven't already. But I think I've seen Isaac Pekka in here before, but if not, hit that subscribe button for us. But yeah, so I think they're handling that. Tycoon's holding it down in the chat there. So we appreciate you answering those questions before we can get them on the stream. And again, just so you guys know, Tycoon, trusted friend here of Get Right Fantasy Network, man, has his own show, The Fantasy Boardroom, on YouTube. So make sure you guys go check him out, as well as all of our other channels we have here on the Get Right Fantasy Network. Hit that description.
Plenty of guys here.
Absolutely. So we'll move
We need
on.
to get a girl. That's what we need to work on.
We had a girl guest. We're working on it.
We need like
Like, bring on a whole show. All right, we'll see. We'll get there.
We'll get the
All
other
right,
100 guys in here after that.
Right. So let's get to that game, man. Let's talk about the game that includes the number one waiver wire pickup of the week. That's going to be the Seattle Seahawks at New Orleans Saints. We had the Saints pull this one out 39-32. It was an awesome game, man. Taysom Hill's just the MVP of this game. 3 touchdowns, right? I mean, he had something like absurd. I don't know how or why I don't have his numbers on here, but he was definitely the name of the game. I did like what I saw out of Kamara. 23 carries for 123 yards. I can't remember the last time I've seen Kamara actually get 23 carries.
It's been a while.
Just obviously didn't get any touchdowns because Taysom Hill was scoring from like 40 yards out. And then, it was of course nice to see him, worked into that passing game. Andy Dalton thrown into him 6 times for another 91 yards, but again, no touchdowns. So again, you throw a couple touchdowns on there. Kamara is that guy, we drafted him to be. Another big standout, in this game were the 5 catches, 104 yards and 2 touchdowns for Lockett. Like we were talking about, Geno Smith is looking like that dude, man. This guy is just putting up numbers, man. We all thought it was going to kind of be a shit show there in Seattle. But lo and behold, they've, been playing well, behind that makeshift, offensive line. They've, figured some things out. But, the big headline here, of course, is that Rashad Penny injury. And I don't think this is one of those, injury prone, type injuries or anything like that, man. This was just a freak accident. Dude fractured his, one report said the tibia, one report said the fibula. I don't know which one it is, but either way, he's done. He's out for the season. Gonna need surgery. The leg's broken. He was on crutches. It was in a cast or boot or whatever. But he's out for the season. Another big loss in this game was Chris Olave. We all saw him make that touchdown grab. Hit the ground. That AstroTurf, man, is unforgiving. Hit his head, got knocked out cold. Yeah, like knocked out cold. So of course he's in concussion protocol. He might be out a couple weeks. You never know. Kind of talking about this with them boys earlier as well too. I do like the new safety precautions they have going on in the game now. I mentioned to him with my son having heat stroke and his football practice. Just understanding and making sure these coaches and players are aware that this is just a game. Like, life is more important than the game. Even though the game may be your life, it's still important to not risk your life for the game. Give it your all, 140, 110%. But also listen to your body, man. If you're not ready, don't rush back out there because the long-term effects, regardless of the injury, could be brutal and, cause you a lot of problems. I'm in senior living. That's what I do for, work. So, I've seen, I see it every day, people's bodies, kind of breaking down and things like that. So let alone if you're, professional athlete going through that as well. So again, not to go too much off on that. Let's talk about I guess from a fantasy perspective, we have Ken Walker, the rookie drafted there in Seattle, comes in, for him, goes 8 for 88. A lot of that 88 was that 69-yard run that he had.
Yeah.
Nice big run, but it's nice to see that he has that kind of burst. He does score touchdowns, so it's a nice game. If he can just be as productive as Penny was, maybe if he's a little better talent wise, it'll be yet to see. But he's only 59% owned on Sleeper, 44% owned on Yahoo. As far as like FAAB, I mean, he's definitely worth your number one waiver claim if you need a running back. If you did lose Penny, probably wasn't a big loss to you. He's probably your RB3, RB4 anyway. But again, in these 0 RB, hero RB builds, these are the type of opportunities that you basically draft for.
Waiting on, yeah.
So go get him.
Waiting for that number one waiver wire. This is the week, right?
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see some people literally empty their entire FAAB on it. So
and it's also because you're going into bye weeks. I mean, you're going to snatch this guy up and just trade him away, even if you need to.
Absolutely.
Like, if you have that number one waiver wire priority, it's 6 week 6, man. What are you waiting on?
Right. It's tough, man. I mean, it's you got to do it. Like I said, I've already had him because again, the way I drafted, he's on a lot of my benches already, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
but
you got him on one day. You were right. You got him in the Yahoo ones.
Oh, I know.
So Taysom Hill, my man, though, 9 for 112,
Take
3
it away.
touchdowns.
Oh yeah, and I can see my gentleman's bet to you right now.
Oh yeah, I told them guys they thought I was crazy. They even when
everyone
I mentioned
did.
it, everybody was like,
everyone
"What are you talking about, Frank? What are you?" It was like way off the wall. Like, this guy's high. Shut up, Frank. Get out of here. You're drunk. Go sit down. But Taysom Hill proving my point. 3 touchdowns. He already had another touchdown previous game in the first one. I think it was first or second game. Got injured, so he was out for a little bit. Then he came back, got another touchdown. This is another game that shows that his versatility. I just told you this guy has a nose for the end zone, and this is the kind of guy that I like to have on my team. I may not, he may not have all the stats that you need, but he gets the touchdowns, and more importantly, he's on the field in so many different ways for them. Aside from he could be the quarterback for them, he does play tight end, but they also use him as a running back, or just
I've seen him line up at tight end once yet.
Yeah, but that's what his position is. I picked him up just because he's like a cheat code. And stupid me, I didn't even end up putting him into my lineup in one of the leagues. I didn't have him against you. I would have, should have, would have, could have, right?
Right.
And I actually,
I don't think
I'll tell you off air as to why I did not. I'll tell you off air as to why I did not.
Well, it's because I have. Oh no! Okay, no, never mind.
I'll
yeah,
tell you
have
why.
to tell me.
It has nothing to do with that. Trust me.
Okay.
And so then it happens, right? But go get him. I mean, I still think there's plenty of opportunities, for him, regardless if the quarterback changes and comes back. He's just one of those kind of players. Now, can you rely on 3 touchdowns for him? No. Do I think he might score a touchdown next week? He possibly could get one more, but he's going to get you some yardage. He's going to get you, especially if he's a PPR player, he gets some touches and things like that. He's not. It's not fancy, but it is.
Yeah.
Is what you
I think you have it the opposite way. I think he's more valuable non-PPR, because as a tight end, he's not getting it. But I think he's like the tight end, like 4 or 5 or something like that, and he's like averaging like 3 touches per game. Like, what other player could be top 4 only getting 3 touches per game? So it's pretty interesting, man.
No, I agree. He doesn't play many snaps. He doesn't. He's a gadget play. They literally bring him in a gadget play on the end zone, though. In the end zone when he could get a touchdown.
Yes, those high value touches.
High value touches,
he's not
exactly.
40 out every week, but you never know, man. Why not?
Right. So I just wanted to get on that because we had the gentleman's bet here, and
yeah, I concede it, man, for sure.
Kyle Pitts,
you win that one.
Is just what's going on over there, right?
Yeah, that's tough. So we'll get into that when we talk.
Get to them.
Yeah. I was gonna say, but yeah, definitely, I'm playing Hill over Pitts for sure right now.
Yeah.
Should I drop McKenzie or Garrett Wilson for Taysom Hill? I have Hawkinson. He's on a bye for week 6. So, our Taysom Hill expert here, Frank, would you drop one of these guys? And if you would, which one would you drop?
It depends on the rest of his team. It's hard to answer that.
These are his 2 options: McKenzie and Garrett Wilson. Those would be his options.
He's on the bye for week 6. Ooh, Garrett Wilson then. But he hasn't done much for you lately. I'd want to
Yes.
keep McKenzie because he's on way better offense than Garrett Wilson on the Jets there. What do you think? Yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. So what do you think? McKenzie or Garrett?
You keep going.
Oh, well,
I have to redo my
okay.
audio.
No
If you
worries.
can hear me.
So I definitely would keep McKenzie just because of the offense with the Bills. He has more opportunity over there. Garrett Wilson had a good game. We bought into it and really hasn't done much since. It's been like 3 weeks since basically anything. And Taysom Hill is up and coming. So you always go for the hot hand is what we're doing right now. And Taysom Hill again, he's just opportunistic. He has a lot of different gadget plays that we were just talking about that he gets inserted into. He's not just a tight end. He's a running back. He's a wide receiver. He could be a quarterback. He'd be sitting there and so he's worth the shot. I mean, who else do you have on your waiver wire is the question, right?
Mm-hmm. We got Tron disagree and say, nah, keep Wilson.
Keep Wilson. What's Wilson been
Uh,
up to? Let me look up his numbers here lately.
We have Tycoon saying, definitely don't drop Wilson for Hill. Even Ron saying, I would not drop Garrett Wilson for Hill. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe McKenzie. Like, I mean, we know McKenzie's definitely behind Davis and definitely behind Diggs.
Let's see. I just
So
looked up Garrett Wilson's game log. He had that 122-point game, 6 points, 4.1, 2.7.
right, and that's with
Literally a
Wilson back.
regression. So I mean, y'all can keep Wilson if you want. He's a droppable to me, or you could put him on the bench. The guy needs somebody to start. So somebody, hey,
I mean, is
somebody's
there a
got
consideration? Would you drop
somebody
Hawkinson
get,
for Hill?
get.
That's that option too.
No, I
He
would
is on a
not
bye
drop
week.
Hawkinson. I wouldn't drop Hawkinson.
I mean, he went off that one game crazy, and what did he get? Like 1 point this last week.
That's one.
I mean, we know New England's good against tight ends, but still,
yeah,
either way,
I mean,
it's interesting.
That whole game, nobody did nothing for Detroit, so I wouldn't call that. You know what I mean? Like nobody else did anything, and I mean, obviously the whole team got a flat 0. So
Right?
you know what I mean? Like I
You
wouldn't look at that.
Yeah, you got your fishing counterpart over here saying, Frank, you got lucky. He's still a good risk reward play. He can give you a goose anytime. He's played
Yeah,
less
no,
than
we
40.
were doing
Oh, we
that.
already said that one? My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
We were just talking
I
about
think
the
I
risk
was,
reward and the number of players, but I think so.
Well, there it is. All right. Well, we'll keep it going here.
I couldn't say drop McKenzie.
Yes. So there he is. He said 100% right. Do not drop Wilson. Drop McKenzie.
Hey, we're
Don't
opposite.
listen to him.
More the opposite.
We can all agree to disagree sometimes. That's okay. I'm gonna just throw a whole other curveball in there. I drop Hawkinson. I'm not rostering 2 tight ends. I'm not holding a tight end through a bye week unless his name's Kelsey or Andrews. That's just me personally. Just in my opinion.
Just to let you know right there.
That's just me. That's where I'm at. I'd keep both those guys. And I mean, probably most likely McKenzie, but
John's
I would
going
probably
to go for
just
Hayden Hurst. That's a good option as well.
Yeah, for sure. I got him on a lot
Maybe
of
he's
best
got to
ball.
drop somebody though. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe he's got to drop somebody. I don't know why you guys aren't in love with Garrett, but he's not doing it. So
Right. Random half Korean. I love the name. One of my handles one time was that one black eye. So I love the random half Korean. That's awesome. Cool. Welcome to the Get Right Fantasy Network. Hopefully hit that subscribe button for us. But Random comes in here saying played without a defense this week. Dropped Jamal Williams, Dobbs, Judy, Emore. Really think I'm going to do that. Ayuk, really think going to do that too. Pollard, Madison, Herbert, Zay Jones, non-PPR. So I'm not sure exactly what he's asking. Like, is he saying, do we drop him? Or he's just kind of saying that to my team. I mean, I think Ayuk is a potential drop candidate. I mean, I would drop Ayuk for, Walker.
I never even would have picked up
someone
Ayuk.
like that. But I like these other guys here. I mean, my least favorite out of all those is Elijah Moore.
Madison's definitely a handcuff.
And Zay
Herbert,
Jones.
another handcuff. Zane Jones.
Yeah, I'm not messing with him.
Yeah, Zane Jones is your droppable guy.
Interesting. All right, well, hey, we appreciate it. Oh, he's saying got Wilson, yay. MG3, Amon-Ra. So yeah, it's Melvin Gordon, Amon-Ra, Andrews, Chubb, and Pierce. No one in his league trades. That's tough. Well, come join us, man. We got leagues over here. We'll get some trades going. Join our leagues next year. Catch us in the ops season. So there it is. All right. So Jedi Mind Trick saying he has J Rob. You guys think Etienne has taken over that backfield? Oh, you missed it by like 20 minutes. If you rewind back to our whole Etienne
Scroll
segment,
up on the
yeah, just scroll up on the
comments.
chat, man. You'll see it. It's in there, man. We're at least I am Tycoon in the chat is. I'm pro ETN. I think J Rob will still have a role in this offense. I don't think it's just going to be turned all the way over to him. And J Rob is still going to probably get those, between the tackles and goal line carries. But yeah, so yep, there it is. Squidward. See, that's why we have the ambassadors, man. Holding it down in the chat. They can get to yeah, they can get you guys the answers before us sometimes when we're behind on the chat. So man, I love this community, man. You guys are awesome.
I know it was a huge debate.
Yeah, it was a good one, man. It was heated. We got excited in here. So we have Ronaldo fan. I'm a Ronaldo fan. Hey, I trade away Zeke and Jefferson for Jacobs and Evans. If that's Justin Jefferson, no. To me, Justin Jefferson is on that do not trade list. Like you can send me your whole team for Justin Jefferson. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like it literally would be a vetoable trade that you would have to trade me to get Jefferson if I drafted him. Like I'm just not doing it.
The guys are saying no.
Yeah, see, I mean, I guess
Don't do
they're
that.
with me, man. That's just what it is. Yeah.
So
So
it's all consensus. Don't do that.
yeah, so I think we're all there. So
Whatever
welcome to
you're
Get
doing,
Right.
don't do that.
Yeah, welcome to Get Right Fantasy Network, man. We're not about trading away top players. Keep
No.
those guys. They're called untouchables, non-tradables. And if one becomes available, if you get someone in your league that is silly enough to trade a Justin Jefferson, a Cooper Kupp, a Christian McCaffrey, one of these type of guys, Derrick Henry, Eckler, go get them. Like as long as you're not giving up crazy amount or like your first, second, third round pick. I mean, if it's Najee, okay, that's different. But like, go get him. Like almost whatever you have to pay to go get that guy, just because if someone's even willing and even considering he would be open to trading him,
Yeah,
just go
drop
get
by
him.
you.
Like any type of valuable, then go get it. So yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh, what did he clarify there?
I just want to appreciate that as a reply. I don't have defense, and it almost cost me a 5-0. So Ayuk is what I'm
Oh,
hearing.
so he's saying
Yeah.
he rolled with no. Okay, I get what
Yeah.
he's saying
So he
now.
was trying to drop
To
somebody.
me, Ayuk's droppable at this point right now. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to go run out and grab Ayuk unless they're completely hurting at
Trust me,
wide
drop him, you're
receiver.
fine. You're not
As a
missing out.
Niners fan, I would probably more so drop Zay Jones would be my more droppable person. But that's just me. But that's because they just have so many other playmakers in that offense before you kind of get to Zay Jones. I mean, he does get his targets. He gets some production here or there. He'll score a touchdown every couple weeks. But for the most part, like I think Zay Jones and Ayuk, unfortunately, are droppable. Like I liked Ayuk a lot, and he may catch on, later in the season.
He'll get
But
you a game here and there. Not
yeah,
reliable.
not something. I mean, yeah, he's not someone you're just like, oh yeah, I'm starting him every week. Like he's just a bench, bye week replacement type guy. Put him out on the wire so everybody can kind of use him when they need him. They'll drop him. Next person could use him the next week. Just kind of do that kind of thing. Yeah, he's just
Hope for the best.
he'll be all of ours. It'll
Yeah.
just be all of ours. It's okay to have a couple of those guys in the league. So yeah, everyone again is saying agreed on all that. Where do we go? I hate the Niners and would drop Zay over Ayuk, but both can get it. So yeah, that's basically what we were saying too. Let's see. Should we put any stock into Brian Robinson? We are going to get into that here. You were not too late for that one, Jedi.
I just wanted to set you up.
I know
Ron.
Ron is waiting for that one too. So should we
get
just
to that one? We can skip to that, right?
Let's just get to these other ones.
All right. Jesus. It's a long way away.
I know, man. And we got to get through it here too, man, because my medicine's starting to wear off and I'm starting to cough more and stuff and talking too much. So
you sounded dry.
My adrenaline's starting to wear off a bit here, but I was excited, man. I've been waiting for this show all day. All right. So I think we've ran that game into the ground. I think we're on this Miami Dolphins, New York Jets game. Jets come out, put up a 40 burger on the Dolphins. We were kind of talking about already with Garrett Wilson, so we'll use that as our segue. Dolphins 17. Big news here, of course, is Teddy Bridgewater leaving early with the elbow and concussion or head trauma. They kept him out. He's the first player to technically witness history here. First player to be held out under the new NFLPA rules, which state if anyone that basically they see him wobbly or any chance of having a concussion, they're out now. So this is going to be a huge deal when it comes to fantasy, man.
Oh yeah, you could
You
have
know,
somebody sneeze funny and
they take a little
miss a
awkward
step.
step
Yeah,
and they're
somebody's gonna pull
done.
that
Yeah,
guy
the
out.
eye in the sky is pulling them out.
That'd be
So
the
we
guy
saw
on
it
the other team.
happen.
Oh no, I seen him.
Hey, he wobbled. But yeah, so but like I was saying before, man, it's important. Player safety is important, man. These guys have lives. They got wives, kids, moms, dads. Like, you got to take care of yourself. And someone needs to look out for you sometimes if you're not looking out for yourself and not in your right mind. Obviously, you got a concussion. You're not making good decisions, right?
No,
So
yeah,
Bridgewater leaves. So that leaves what was his name? Skylar Thompson or something like that to come in, undrafted rookie. Kind of held his own for a little while, but the Jets ended up, pulling out. Tyreek Hill got his foot stepped on late in the game. He's in a walking boot. They said he should probably be fine. McDaniel said, Waddle came into the game with a little groin issue. He seemed to be fine. He was just kind of more ineffective. I don't know if it was, of course, just quarterback play. A lot of things are going to be felt out here in Miami. So I'm kind of fading most of the Miami players, or at least hampering my expectations. When I have these guys in my lineup for the time being, except for Raheem Mostert, man. Raheem Mostert comes out, goes 18 for
he's doing solid.
113 and a touchdown, basically taking over this backfield. He knows McDaniel, obviously, from his, days with the Niners. Chase Edmonds has basically kind of just been faded out. He's an afterthought at this point.
Yeah.
Over the last couple weeks. Mostert's only 68% owned on Sleeper, 70% owned on Yahoo, which could be nice because maybe there's an opportunity where you can get him. Because most likely everybody else is going to be going after Walker, Brian Robinson, who we're going to get into here soon. That's just me. I'll leave the Jet side of the ball for you. What do you think about Brees Hall on that side of the ball?
Well, Brees Hall, stood out with the 18 97 yards and a touchdowns, 2 receptions, 100 yards. I mean, what a day, right? But Michael Carter didn't do too bad either. 10 for 27, 2 touchdowns.
Eh,
Also, he's still involved. Obviously, right?
well, Brees Hall was in on those plays that Carter was there, and basically his only 2 touchdowns were because those the 2 catches that he got for the 100 yards, he was down at the 1 each time. Michael Carter comes in, they give Michael Carter the ball for a 1-yard rushing touchdown. Like he went Lindell White on.
It was vulturing.
Yeah, the ultimate vulture.
Vulture.
So Michael Carter, the vulture. So I don't know if
That's what
that's
they
going
were
to
calling
happen every
Taysom
week.
Hill. Not to go back a little bit, but that's what they were calling Taysom Hill. He just came in and vultured the touchdown.
It wasn't. I mean, you can't vulture a touchdown from 48 yards out or whatever. I mean, that's a little different. This guy was at the 1. So
yeah.
And it was crazy because Brees Hall was in on the play. He just went one way. They gave it to Michael Carter going the other way.
The other way. Yeah,
it's messed up, man. But either way, he still put up his points. Yeah. So again, another change of backfield here.
It was changing of the guard. I ended up keeping Brees. I had both of the guys.
You did
both Carter and Brees, and I've dropped Carter since, and I'm okay with that. And even if after this game, I'm okay with him being on the waiver wire. Let somebody else pick him up. Hopefully, they get a good game out of him. If not, I'm just not dealing with it. I don't like having 2 guys on the same team unless they're clear handcuffed to the guy that's a number 1. Period. Right? If that guy's the number 1, then you go grab that handcuff like Madison for Cook or whatnot.
But
Then
I think Carter's on that level. Like I think he's one of those guys. Brees gets hurt, especially now with him getting all these touches. If he's getting 20 touches a game and he gets nicked up, Carter's going to come in and basically walk into an RB1 role. There's no other competing back. Obviously, we've seen even Telvin Coleman's gone. He's back with the Niners now. Vulture and touchdowns from Jeff Wilson when we get to the Niner game. But that's neither here nor there. So, again, just interesting game, man. Jets putting up 40 burger. I don't know what's going on with the league right now, but is what it is.
The Jets are for real now.
I guess so, man. Even with Wilson in there.
Because Miami was undefeated for a little while there, remember?
Yeah. But obviously Tua's out, still dealing with his whole situation.
Tua's out now. Teddy Bridgewater's
doesn't
out.
sound like he's going to be there.
They're on the 3rd, like you're saying. What was he, a rookie quarterback? So that doesn't bode well for the team,
right?
Skylar Thompson. Like, come on. So hopefully, maybe let's see what happens. Hopefully, Teddy Bridgewater comes back. But I mean, if that doesn't look, they don't have a quarterback over there. The only one I'm going to be trusting over there is Mostert.
Yep. I'm there. Zachary Hugh, what's up, man? Hit that subscribe button for us if you haven't already. It says, do you guys think the Jags defense plays well against the Colts again, or should I pick up another defense? I'm okay starting the Jags defense against the Colts, man. Colts haven't been doing great. I mean, JT should be back next game, but still Matt Ryan. I mean, we'll see. I've seen Matt Ryan dropped in a couple super flex leagues, even.
Yeah.
Kind of some spike drops going on. Sometimes people get angry in their
A little
feelings.
upset.
Sometimes they
Yeah.
just start.
A little overreaction going on.
Friends don't let friends set their lineups and with anger. So
After Monday nights or
exactly.
Sunday night games here. So yeah,
Oh
definitely.
man,
That's funny.
that's funny. We're getting close. Ronnie said, if you want that Rob hype, you came to the right place. So we're definitely getting it into that here soon. They're all talking about him being like
Let's get to
maybe
the
Clinton
next game. We
Portis,
got
something like that.
want to do the next game.
I want to get here to random real quick though. Sorry to spam
All
the
right.
chat. You can never spam the chat, man. Keep it coming. We appreciate it. The more chats we get helps us out for the algorithms and all that kind of stuff. So keep it coming, man. We appreciate the interaction. He says in half PPR, he has Rogers, Samuel, Judy, Evans, Eckler, Melvin Gordon, Andrews, Amon-Ra, Singletary, Herbert, Boyd, Madison, Akers, and Aljair. He said that's the team he rolled with no defense in too, and his opponent just kind of shit the bed. So I like that team, man. You got an elite tight end. You got your running back set up. I would maybe look to better your quarterback, but Rogers still doing okay. Have your running back depth there. I love Algier. But yeah, I think definitely drop Zay Jones or Ayuk and grab yourself a defense there. You don't want to be rolling that out every week. So
No.
again, we appreciate you. Oh, he said it was Curtis Samuel. But yeah, we appreciate you for that. And yeah, saying by the way, thanks for your help. So absolutely, we appreciate your support and appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. Absolutely. So Jedi Mind Tricks in here saying as Benjamin worth the pickup, fellas. We're gonna get into that here soon.
That's coming up. That one's
And
next. Yeah.
Ronaldo
put that up
fan.
right now.
No, you're good. 12 team half PPR. He's 3-2. Has Burrow, JJ, Gabe Davis, Curtis Samuel, Dalvin, Zeke, Waller, Judy. Also trying to get Kenneth Walker off waivers. So I like that, man. Keep it going. Zeke, Judy. I mean, it's a nice build. I don't mind this build, especially if you can get Walker. That'll be good.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
So we got AFZ Chips. What's up? I don't know if I've seen you in here before, but if you're new, hit that subscribe button for us. Should I trade Lockett and Amari Cooper for Najee? Absolutely not. No. We had Tycoon in here saying hell no as well. And yeah, even Dustin here, who's a co-host here of the show, just couldn't make it on, holding it down in the chat for us, saying he'd keep those two wide receivers as well. And you can ask anyone on this show. I'm not even a Lockett or Amari Cooper fan, but I would keep both of them over Najee right now. Will they be able to sustain it if Geno keeps playing the way he is? It looks like it. Amari Cooper will have Watson coming back. If Watson can do as good, at least as Mr. Brisket's been doing, Jacoby Brissett, then I think he'll be fine. But if you guys remember, man, I've been telling you, and I remember me saying this to you, Frank. Amari Cooper, for whatever reason, does not like to play on away games. Go look at his stats. All his home games, great.
Oh,
I
knew there was something about him. There was something that's just like nut.
And that's why I can't take that.
I'm not doing it today.
He's just like, it's so weird. He did the same thing when he was with the Raiders. He did the same thing when he was with your Cowboys. Yeah. Remember, you guys would play the Eagles at home. He'd go crazy. You guys go to Philly when you need him. You do nothing.
He doesn't fly well. So keep that in mind, AFC Chips. So if he's in an away game, bench him. If he's at home, start him. Like that's the formula right there.
Exactly. So I don't know. It's just so weird to me. And like Dustin saying, Amari has nothing but upside. So there it is. Lockett 2, Seahawks pass heavy now with Geno and let Geno cook. Yeah, the offense is good. That defense still ain't great. So they're gonna need to be putting up points. They're gonna be throwing. And again, they're gonna have a rookie, running back in there behind that shaky offensive line. But again, Penny's been producing. Walker produced, on 8 carries, 88 yards, 69-yard, big chunk gain. Like that's what you want to see. So yeah, there it is. And so you're saying, okay, bet. Thanks.
Cool. Let's move on.
Appreciate it.
Ready for the game? Go. Atlanta Falcons, Tampa
Do
Bay.
It. Run it.
Atlanta Falcons 15 at Tampa Bay Buccaneers 21. The team, they just keep rolling, man. I mean, I don't know about this team. Bucks are favored by 10, and over under was 46.5. No basic injuries to really be talking about there. Lenny finally gets 10 receptions and 83 yards and a TD,
Finally, I've been
and
calling that forever.
and goes for
Even a
14 to
blind squirrel
56
gets a nut every once
and
in a while,
another
I guess.
rushing touchdown. So he gets his 2 rushing touchdowns in, one receiving, one rushing. So he's getting fed the ball right there. But Evans, Godwin, and Gage back, so limited with their ceiling. Basically, what Anthony's saying is a modest performance from those guys of Evans, Godwin's, and Gage. But I think that's kind of happens sometimes when Brady's uh, just kind of spreading the ball around, and not everybody gets to feast. I think it was Lenny's day to feast, and then somebody next week it'll be somebody else. And I think it always worked out that way. That there's always maybe one guy that got a little bit more touches or more looks that day and got the touchdowns. But you definitely keep starting Evans and Godwin. Gage is kind of WR3, so that all depends on your team and your makeup
Mhm.
right there. Um, and then you got a chance for what do you got here on this on 6 for 43 and involved?
Yeah,
Who's,
so
who's,
Kate Otten, tight end for the Tampa Bay Bucks. Again, if you're looking for
oh,
someone, maybe for a bye week, replacement, if you miss out on Hill with the FAAB, and you can grab, Otten, he might be worth the start, man. He looks like he's starting to build some rapport with Brady. We know Brady likes to target that tight end, as we know, especially
I'm waiting for Cameron Brate to come back.
we'll see. Yeah, he's still dealing with that concussion, but you never know. I mean, Brate's been there for a long time. If he would have took over, he would have. Like they brought Gronk back. Like if he was that dude, they wouldn't have been trying to solicit Gronk. You know,
But come
I'm
on,
just saying
come on,
they went and signed Kyle
that's
Rudolph. Like
not even
as soon
fair.
as he didn't come back, they went and signed Kyle Rudolph because they
Yeah,
still didn't trust him. Like, and then that didn't
yeah,
work out. Like, and now
yeah,
Kate Otten's playing over. It was even playing almost kind of over Brate. Like they did have Brate in there. He got hurt, but this guy
yeah.
showed. Starting to earn the trust. So again, we're talking streaming tight end. These are the guys you're looking for, especially even get him for next to nothing. You don't have to pay that. Taysom Hill price. Again, for a guy who we talked about earlier, can get you zero. So this is somebody I'm looking at. Other guys, obviously, Tyler Algier gets his first start, goes 13 for 45, against this vaunted Bucks rushing defense. It's not really that bad, all things
Yeah, against a
considered for
good
his first
defense like
start.
that, yeah.
The problem is he gets the Niners defense queued up right
Next
again
week,
next week.
woo!
And
That's all
then
bad.
yeah, after that it gets a little
Easy.
easier,
Cincinnati, oh, that's easy. That's a
Cincinnati,
cakewalk.
Carolina, goes against the Chargers, gets
Chargers
Carolina
another
again.
cakewalk.
Then he gets Chicago, then Washington, then Pittsburgh.
Oh, it gets way
Um,
better for him then, huh?
yeah, so then it gets,
You just got to
and
get
then
past
week
these 2
14
weeks
is his
here.
bye week. Yeah. So he's 68% owned on Sleeper, 56% owned on Yahoo. So if you can get Tyler Algier, again, if you miss out on Walker and some of these other guys, Brian Robinson, these guys, might be a guy you can grab. Just the problem is, and why you don't want to spend too much on him, really just depends on how he shows out over these next couple weeks. Cordell Patterson is coming back. He's on IR. He'll be out for 4 weeks, so he still has 3 more weeks to go before he can actually be concerned, considered to even be eligible to come back. Then they'll have that 21-day window to actually activate him and put him on the active roster. So who knows? After this little run, if he's rolling, who comes back and who's the 1A, 1B. So it might be a little, iffy, but again, for your hero RB and zero RB builds, these are the kind of guys, you're
You're
looking to
looking
get
for
and throw in there because you're so
for sure.
stacked everywhere else. You don't need these guys to compete with the Ecklers and the Dalvin Cooks because you have, Justin Jefferson and Travis Kelsey and, Lamar and Josh Allen because you went elite onesies. The way you made your team, you don't need to rely on these RBs. You just need to get, 12, 15 PPR points and you're fine.
Yeah. You
So
just need to get some touches, basically.
exactly. So
Here's
we'll
an
move on.
interesting one from Zachary Hugh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Should I trade Garrett Wilson and McKenzie for Julio Jones? I keep saying those two because on the bench since I have Amon St. Brown, Debo, and Kirk.
Nah,
And I
I'm
wouldn't trade
leave
those for
Julio
Julio.
there. Yeah, no
Yeah,
thanks. No thanks. No thanks.
no. Move on from that.
That's good. There's another one in here. Oh, I wanted to get to this one. AFZ chips. We do full team breakdowns like this. If you hit the description here in the video, you'll see at the very top it says join the Get Right Fantasy Network Sleeper community. Hit that link, go in there. If you don't have a Sleeper account, just create one. If you already do, it'll take you right to our page. It's a private page. Go in there, start a thread. You can upload, once you create the thread, check out my team or rate my team. Go into the comment, upload a picture of your, screenshot of your team. Not only myself, Frank does, all of us, Tycoon, we're all in there. and we'll give you full breakdowns. We can't really do it, too much here on the stream because time's limited. But if you go in there, we'll handle it for you. And we just go back and forth. It's an awesome community. It's not just like the random trolls that you're going to get posting in the actual sleeper thread part or maybe on Facebook or some of these other places, Twitter. It's all just cool guys in there, all private invite. People here that have interacted here with the channel. So make sure you guys all go check that out. Join the community, upload your pictures, your photos, trades. Who do I start? Who do I sit? Get your direct, access to us, when we're not live. So and that goes for anybody else that's watching this not live. Go in there, ask your questions. If you can't catch us live on the East Coast or something like that, other side of the world, make sure you go in there and check it out. I just wanted to get to that. You see anything else in there while I was going off on that?
I'm glad. No, I was going to save it for you later, but I'm glad you were there. It was just I read the comment for Tycoon that Kelsey and Adams brought me back from a 60-point deficit for the win. Huh?
Nice.
That was nice.
Yeah, that Mahomes Kelsey stack is nasty.
It's like once in a fantasy career kind of thing.
For sure.
But I guess the guy took it well. He says apparently my opponent took it well. So hey. I just thought that it's interesting. Just like whatever,
what are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do?
I'd rather get blown out than like those small deficit wins, those 0.12s that we've had recently, and things like that in our league. That I'd rather have a full on 50 to 100 and call it a day.
Exactly, like mine this week in my undefeated team. Just my whole team shit the bed this week. I got smoked.
50 something, 56.
Oh, actually, with all Kelsey's 4 touchdowns, it made it decent. So I got in the 80s in a non-PPR.
Oh, you got in the 80s after all that?
Yeah, which helps with my overall points.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I mean, Lamar, everyone just kind of shit the bed there. So.
It happens.
But hey, I'd rather just like you said, I'd rather have nobody go off. Like none of my team scored touchdowns. Like nobody scored touchdowns. Again, non-PPR.
Next week, everybody's on fire.
They're gonna go off. So I'm good.
Everybody come back strong. Everybody needs their TDs.
4-1. And I got Walker coming off the bench now and all that. So and Brian Robinson, I'm set up good. So with that said, let's get into it. I'm taking this one because we've been waiting for it all night. I know Ron's been waiting for it. Tennessee Titans 21, Washington Commanders 17. They get the L here, but the big W on the day. I'm just gonna skip right to it. No injuries to note here. King Henry, went off 28, 102, and 2, 2 receptions, 30 yards. Again, if you're freaking out about Henry, sold him. I feel bad for you. Don't sell guys like that. We all know what he's capable of.
And if you do, we're buying.
If you happen to come up on him, congratulations. That well done. But we see, we've been talking about it. Gibson's usage has been going down. B-Rod comes in, all the hype. He's going to be activated. Is only going to play about 20 snaps. I don't know what exact snap count actually came out to, but he did get 9 carries, only 22 yards, so it wasn't great. Again, it was limited, but it was just nice to see him, again, out there, active, and actually playing football just a few weeks removed from having been shot twice in the lower body. So he's a guy, again, that you probably got for free, maybe even stashing him. If you're the type of person that likes to sell these guys because you're not, feeling it, then go ahead and sell them, get the value that you think you can. Otherwise, again, for my type of, hero and 0 RB builds, these are the type of guys that you're waiting on and banking on. So he's just someone I like. I like his profile. Again, I don't think he's going to be like Derrick Henry or anything. I just think he fits my team needs and what I'm looking for in an RB2. So, they're already talking about Gibson going back to that punt return role. We got that notification today.
So they were quick about.
They were just all on it, and so
they're
again,
already ready to move on from Gibson if he can't read between the lines.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what it like. And again, he could fail, and he could not be that guy. But obviously, they're the ones in practice. They're the ones who've been seeing this dude, and if they're giving him the work, this rookie, they had him in training camp all year. They gave him and named him the starter literally hours before he got shot. He was going to be the starter from day one, and Antonio Gibson was going to be the punt returner. That's all. They weren't even talking about a split backfield. It was going to be Robinson's backfield. Can he get worked into the passing game? We'll see. I do like him in non-PPR more than PPR for now, but we'll see. And so again, I knew Ron was going to be in here giving me shit, saying no way he's an RB2. I'm just saying he's my RB2, which on my team builds, because I have a tight end 1, Andrews and Kelsey, he fits that mold. All I need him to do is produce streaming tight end points on my team, and the rest of my team is stacked up. I got Mahomes, I got Lamar, you know what I mean? On my 2 different teams that I have Robinson on, I have elite quarterbacks, I have elite tight ends, I have elite wide receivers. I'm rocking Devontae Adams in one league. I mean, I have the right build to where that's all I need from this guy, and I basically got him for free. Literally,
Yeah,
he didn't go drafted in our
he didn't
leagues.
get drafted.
We finished the draft. I immediately went and grabbed him and Jamison Williams, threw both of them in my RR spots before anyone even knew what was going on in our league. And so now they're coming. They're probably going to watch all their stuff. Oh, Brian Robinson getting active, and then they're already on my been in my IR. So hopefully your leagues aren't like that. Hopefully there's not me in your league, or else they would be in my IR. So anyway, there it is. Brian Robinson. Other than that, one thing I want to mention, man, De'Ami Brown, obviously with Jahan Dotson out, had those nice. I mean, it was just 2 catches, but those 2 catches were really nice. The one was just a sick one-handed catch that he had, man. Deep ball from Carson Wentz, churning back into who knows what, just dropping it in from the heavens. Goes 2 catches, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's 0% owned on Sleeper, 0% owned on Yahoo, so no one started him. No one even has him on the team. Again, bye weeks coming. Jahan Dotson's out. Maybe this is a guy you can pick up and throw in your lineups, for free. You don't have to spend much fab on him. With all the other stuff going on this week, it's actually a pretty busy week, for waivers. You can probably just sneak this one in with a $0 bid. Or, he's not even worth a claim spot for me. Just let waivers roll. If you have open free agency on, Wednesday after the waivers run, just go pick him up if you really need a wide receiver. Other than that, yeah, I'm like, other than that, that pretty much solved that one. We got a couple more games. We'll get out of here. It's a long show, but we had a lot of people here in the
games. We got a couple more games. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple more, man. Well, we had a lot of chat.
All right,
dude.
we'll
Our
start
chat
it up.
was
San
crazy.
Francisco 49ers at 37 and Carolina Panthers 15.
Not going to let me take my own game?
Rolling it up. Well, go ahead then. I'll just give you the score. 49ers favor 6.5. Over under 39.5. Take it away.
Absolutely. And before we do, Ron's right. If anybody drops Dotson, man, if anybody drops Dotson, go get him. That dude's the dude. So go get him. I'm there with you. We can agree for once, Ron. No, I'm just kidding, man. Love you, brother. Love it. Love it. All right, man. So we got my Niners just putting the spanking on, causing the Panthers to fire their coach. 37-15. Baker, the big injury here in this one, leaves the game. Come to find out it's a high ankle sprain. He left in a boot. On the Niners side of the ball, I don't know what the hell's in the water with the Niners. Everyone's out, man. We lost Mosley, ACL, done for the year. Bosa was out early with the groin. Who else? Ward left with a broken hand or something like that too. He's going to be out. So it's just crazy. Everyone's just getting hurt on the Niners, but we're still chugging along. We had Jeff Wilson go for 17, 120, and 1. Like I mentioned earlier, CMC still is that running back 1 and wide receiver 1 in 1. Gets those 12 targets, which is great. 7 catches, 50 yards, 14 for 54 and a touchdown on the ground. And I think, DJ Moore is definitely a sit candidate at this point, maybe even droppable if you want. I would just hold on to him maybe now that we've had this coaching change. It might be worth it. If he was dropped in your leagues, again, maybe worth a spot if you have a spot to give up. Because after that, they get the Rams, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Cincinnati, Atlanta again, Baltimore, and then Denver before their Week 13 bye. So there could be, some opportunities there. And who knows, if PJ Walker comes in and, if he starts, it sounds like Baker probably going to play. I mean, he played with the torn labrum last year. I doubt a high ankle sprain. As long as he can tape it up and do his drop back, he doesn't run. He's not Lamar or anything. So, we'll see what actually happens there. I'm not touching him as far as that goes. I do have Brandon Ayuk, marked down here as a potential drop candidate if you need, like a Walker, B-Rob, somebody like that to add. I think he's definitely droppable. Other than that, I mean, Shai Smith, is who PJ Walker came in and was, kind of targeting heavily. If you're in a super deep league, maybe you take a look at Terrence Marshall. I don't think this offense could, support 2 or 3 wide receivers really, anyway. Let's just try to focus on getting McCaffrey and DJ Moore the ball before we start spreading it out, to other people. So other than that, unless there's anything else you want to add on that, Frank, you can go ahead and talk about this Eagles game.
No, you covered it all. You got everything serious on there. Again, we were already talking about, and Brandon, you being droppable. It's even in your show notes. So just to go with that, firm that in for that guy. Philadelphia Eagles 20, Arizona Cardinals 17. The Eagles are favored 5.5. Over under was 48.5. So injuries in this game was Connor's and his ribs. And he's been having issues. I don't know. He hasn't been himself this year. At least what I wanted to see out of him. So that's concerning to me. Damien Williams again, the knee.
Appreciate that.
What's
Sorry,
that?
we got random half Korean saying, yeah, for real, you guys are chill. I hope you guys blow up as soon as possible. Hey, we hope so too, man. And if you haven't heard already, I don't know if you're here. Just real quick, sorry, man. I just got to do it,
No, go
Frank.
ahead.
I
Go
just got
ahead.
to do
No,
it.
I got no worries.
I just got to do it, man. This is why we're here. Hopefully, hit that subscribe button, man, because we want to give away this Gabe Davis jersey. So again, we're trying to hit that 600 subs. So help us get there. Tell your friends about us. Get them subbed, and everyone gets a chance to win this jersey sooner, so that we can get on to bigger and better giveaways. So again, we appreciate that. Go ahead, Frank. Talk about
Yeah,
Ron's
well,
Eagles. He wants you to hear the 5-0 Eagles. Say it.
a 5 and yeah, I don't want to say it like that.
I tried, Ron. I tried,
They-
Ron. I tried.
They are the only undefeated team still. I'll say it that way, right? They're still the only undefeated team. But I mean, come on. And I give him credit last week, so that's it. I'm not even gonna keep talking about it.
Oh, he's done. He ain't trying to.
Basically, all the running backs got hurt. Kyler still kept them close, but made a big mistake sliding too early, then and spiking the ball on 3-1, forcing them to 43-yard field goal with them that Amendola, the third year's team, sails it wide right and no overtime. So they lose because he slides right in there and just says spike instead of actually running the player, just throwing it away to stop the clock or something, because that's what they were trying to do. So then he just kind of
Insane.
ruins it. It was crazy, and all these kickers are just missing field goals left and right. And maybe that's why the Raiders went for it tonight. I don't think so,
Like
but
one of the best kickers of the game. Carlson was not. He just made a 53-yarder, dude. He's not missing that kick.
but they do. So
I know.
it is what it is. It happens. I think some guys had the question: is
Yeah.
Benjamin a waiver wire pickup? Yeah, of course. Definitely worth the shot, especially if Connor stays out for some time. He showed his flashes. It's not his first rodeo on the team, so he's just a wire kind of guy. I wouldn't like hold on to him the rest of the season unless obviously Connor goes out and does stay out for the rest of the season. But what do you got? Ingram here as well, 69% on Sleeper, 0% on Yahoo.
Kenotne Ingram. He was
I didn't-
inactive last week. If all those other running backs ahead of him, Connor, Williams, if they're all out, he might be worth it, man. Might be worth the pickup. You never know.
Right. And
It's going to be one of those two.
Which one?
Benjamin or Ingram. Like it's going to
Benjamin.
be one of those
I'd
guys.
go
if
with
the other
Benjamin.
guys
I'd
are
go
out.
with Benjamin. I'd put my stock in that guy because he's been around. It's not like I said, it's not his first rodeo, and he'll get his opportunities. And he was a
He
waiver
looked
wire
decent.
pickup last year, so I'd rather put a little bit more stock in Benjamin. Rondell Moore comes in again, 7 for 68. I like them. I think he's a good
Well,
pickup.
he moved him back into the slot. Now that AJ Green's back, it moved Rondell Moore back into the slot, which allowed for better production for him. I think he's a slot
'cause
receiver, not an outside
he's more
receiver.
better. That's his spot, man. Let's face it, right?
Yeah.
At 92% sleeper only, 82% on Yahoo. So a lot of the sleeper guys are already on Rondell Moore. So Yahoo is where you need to be able to get him at, right? So anything you want to add on that one?
Not so much. I think you covered it. Again, just the big injuries, with Connor, ribs didn't return. Williams hurt his knee. Ward pulled his hammy. So again, these guys might all be out, all three running backs. So that just leaves them to Benjamin and Ingram potentially there. So again, with bye weeks and things coming up, could be an opportunity there for you if you want to roll the dice with one of those guys if you're in one of those injuries. Other than that, let's move on to your Dallas Cowboys here. But I do just want to
Cowboys putting a spanking on the champions.
Jedi, he said he's making 4 other accounts to subscribe as we speak. I don't condone that type of behavior. Like we, because we still need the views.
Not the first guy.
But you're not.
I can't believe how many comments that people make that.
But yeah, I mean, we appreciate it, but we don't need to. We're trying to get for real.
We're trying to be legit. Is all we're trying to say, man.
That's all. We appreciate it, bro. I'm down. But like I said, I can't condone that. Because we need those watch hours and we need the views to go along with it. for that whole subscriber to viewer
We're
ratio.
trying to get there, man. We're trying to get there somehow.
Yeah, but we appreciate it, man. Just go on the wife's account, hit subscribe. If you want to turn off the notifications, kind of hide it from her,
I
that
just
kind
get
of
my
thing.
homies' phones and just
Yeah, just go
go in
grab
there
their
and
phone,
subscribe.
just subscribe. Hey, let me see your phone. Can I make a call? And just go subscribe to Get Right Fantasy Network. It's easy peasy. Easy peasy. We got FFT AJ just before we get to your Cowboys game. Shout out to AJ, man, making a dropping in here late over there in Texas, man, from our Fantasy Frontline podcast. Links in the description. Make sure you go check out their podcast there. So yeah, so he's laughing about that one. So that was funny.
Definitely no second radio.
But yeah, so definitely saying there. But yeah, go ahead, man. Let's finish this thing up. Let's get out of here.
That's just funny stuff, man. Though.
We appreciate the support, man. We appreciate it. That's awesome. Go ahead,
Just
Frank.
so funny to me. Everybody
I love it,
comes
dude.
up
I
with the
love
same
it.
idea. I'm just gonna start making accounts.
Yeah, like we need to get that jersey. We need to get that
That's
jersey
what's up,
off your
man.
hands.
I
That's
love
what's
that.
up. Go ahead.
So the Cowboys beat those Rams, last year's champs, 22-10. Rams are favored at 5.5. So obviously the Cowboys are running with Cooper Rush and no Dak, so they're not always going to be favored. The over under was 42.5. But the defense, Dallas's defense is number one. We got the number one pass rush defense in the NFL, and
Parsons got hurt though, man. It's gonna be interesting to see.
yeah, Micah, he was grabbing that groin area. He was a little hurting, but he did
Comes
finish
back
out
in,
the
makes
game.
the play of the
He,
game.
yeah,
He Von Millered
stacked-
Super Bowl Von Millered him.
Yeah.
To end the game.
It just sealed it up.
Parsons
Just
the
to
man.
seal it up. So
We're gonna have to get a
that needed
Parsons
to happen,
jersey, man, and give that thing out.
right?
We have a
Ooh,
lot of Cowboys fans, man. I
we
don't know if I
we
might
do
make
have
that
a lot
your
of
guys'
Cowboys.
hand.
I don't know how that's gonna get out.
I was gonna say you guys might not let that
we
one
could
go.
put that on auction and make money. We get that signed jersey out. Shoot,
That's
people will
funny,
be bidding
man.
on that thing right here.
For sure. Appreciate it, random half
Dak's
Korean,
day
bro.
to day though. He's getting some grip on the ball now, as I understand it. So I forgot who mentioned they were just like, if he could grip the ball, he needs to be playing against the Philadelphia Eagles next week. Obviously, it's the big game. Eagles still going 5-0. We're 4-1. Only lost to Tampa Bay, and we're holding it down. The defense is for real over here. So we just need to get the offense going like last year, and we get the number one scoring offense again last year. Watch out, folks. I don't want to say it again every time. It's always our year, but it is our year every year.
I'll help everybody else.
If you're not thinking that for your team, you're not rooting for your team hard enough anyways. That's why I say that.
It's your year. We all heard it before.
The Schultz right knee injury again did not return. That did not bode well for me. I put him in the game. I was hoping that he had a decent game this week because he did not have a decent game last week when he came back, and now he's hurt again. I'm just not very happy with that whole situation that's going on over there. So we got Cam Akers went 13 for 33, 0 tutties. No catches for Hendo, 4 receptions of 30 yards and 5 targets. So he was a little bit more productive than A-Rob with 3 receptions for 12. Basically, the whole team just did not do well because we just kept pressuring Stafford. So he had 2 fumbles. But yeah, Parsons did come up with the game record at the end. And the 54-yard bomb was another missed another one. So what are you gonna do, right? What do we got? We got
waivers.
Yeah,
Skronik.
Who the heck
6 for 41. Yeah, exactly. Because they're not throwing the ball to A-Rob. You got Skronik over here getting six receptions for 41 on 8 targets, which is way better than A-Rob right now. He's only 39% owned on Yahoo, or I'm sorry, on Sleeper, only 1% owned on Yahoo. So he might be worth a pickup. Just hashtag flash drop A-Rob. Like I dropped him. I panicked, picked him up. I almost started him. Had a lot of people in the Get Right community talk me out of playing him. I kept asking a couple other shows. I asked Tycoon, asked the guys on the front line, had to get some second, third, fourth opinions. Luckily, I kept him out. I started Reynolds and Gallup instead. It wasn't that great, but it was definitely better than what A-Rob would have put me. So appreciate you guys.
He's done though, right?
For
He's
helping me out.
He's just done.
I'm done until I see something, man, and then I'll just let him do something else. So either way, man, that's where I'm at. So I just want to get to
Chicago did know something.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly, right? So Tycoon said, yeah, we're good dudes, man, all of them. Just don't tell him I said that, man. So appreciate that, man. All love, brother. So yeah, there's actually 4 of us because he said, when do you two normally stream? There's actually 4 of us here, part of Get Right. It's myself, it's Frank, We have Classic Mike, who will be here on Friday nights. He also does our Sunday morning show. He'll join us every once in a while on a Monday show as well too. And then my brother-in-law Dustin, who's been here in the chat. You might have seen some of the comments already. He's on here. He joins us on Mondays and Wednesdays typically as well too, when he can. So there is 4 of us, but we stream every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday, and every Sunday morning. So we're on pretty much every other day. Come check us out, man. Get in there. You can see our, all of our stuff in there. And like I said, join that private sleeper community. Hit that description. It's at the very top. Join the community there. And basically you can get in touch with us all the time. So again, Tycoon, you're the ambassador, brother. Make sure you go subscribe to the Fantasy Boardroom. And again, FFT AJ in here with the Fantasy Frontline. Make sure you guys go check them out. Links in the description as well. So let's go through this last game, man, and get out of here. I don't know how we did a 2-hour stream on freaking Monday, but I feel like we covered a lot of good stuff here, man. It was a good conversation tonight. It was good.
Really
the chat, man, you guys held it down in here tonight, man. I appreciate you guys. We got 13 people still streaming in here, dude. This for us. I mean, we're not big.
The numbers
have
grown through the night. Honestly, I think it's getting bigger as we've gone up.
So. You guys, it keeps me excited. Like if we were already going down, I'd be like, all right, just shut it down. But
all right, we're tired. We're tired. Let's go. Let's
let's do it. Like my voice is shot after this. I'm gonna be passed out after this. So Sunday night game, man. Cincinnati Bengals versus Baltimore Ravens. It was actually a pretty good game. Very interesting. Bengals, 17, Ravens 19, last minute field goal by Tucker, who's just the man. Like that's the swagger of all swagger. I loved when he made it and he just went like this to the whole crowd. Like that's kicker swag right there. I think he's the highest paid kicker right now anyway. But to me, it was like my 2 favorite kickers in the whole league. Tucker and McPherson. I think they are the 2 swaggiest kickers like in the league. So big shout out to them. But anyway, as far as injuries go in this game, man, T. Higgins left with that ankle injury. They kept trying to test it out, kept trying to come back in, just didn't work, didn't come back in. I think he only played like 2 snaps or something like that. Basically got held out. So defense, obviously we saw Baltimore switch from a man defense, which they all, played. Jamar Chase went nuts against them last year. He had those 2 big, touchdown catches against Baltimore, big game. So they played his own for like the first time in I don't know how long, and Cincinnati couldn't really figure it out. You could tell it looked like they were, game plan for, the man defense, and they went in there, threw a whole curveball at him, and it worked out. So this is why you love the division games, man. We'll see what happens when they play again, on how they beat it. But it looks like people figuring out Cincinnati. When you got that mark on your back as the AFC representative, people are coming at you now. So they're going to do different things.
Has a hangover. The Super Bowl.
That Super Bowl loser hangover, yeah. So
they're 1-5, man, and they do not look good.
Crazy.
There's a lot of things that just don't look right with that team.
Yeah, Jamar Chase, man, was stopped at the 1. That was crazy, or else he could have had a little better game. But his numbers are down. Even with Higgins not in there, they just couldn't beat him. On the other side of the ball, Lamar actually had kind of a down game, but they grounded out, still won. Had that nice 20-yard rush, which set up the, game-winning field goal, basically. So he got it done when he needed to, obviously without his, weapon in Bateman, who missed the game. But, had Duvernay, who came up big with 5 catches, 54 yards, kind of when they needed him. He's pretty much owned in Sleeper, 62% on Yahoo, so maybe there's an opportunity there if Bateman's still out.
This guy just keeps doing some stuff, though, right? Duvernay?
He's just there, man. Yeah, I mean, he's that, wide receiver too.
That one, he had that 1 touchdown by receiving. I mean, it was like he just keeps getting the ball and getting some tutties. I mean, he's getting some touches, so he's worth owning.
Sorry, I was Tony in here talking about making 22K or something off Carson Wentz going over 281.5 yards. Yeah, you can pull that up. There you go. Yeah. What's up, Tony? Yeah, we need to talk. Make sure you DM me. We're gonna talk. Get you in here for that sports bet. Make some money on the side over here with this guy. Let's go. All right. Anyway, Tycoon said, tired. The night's just getting started. We just getting started, man. We're getting started.
Yeah, we're only 2 hours in.
That medicine's wearing off now. We gotta get out of here.
Good call, Tony. Love the Wentz over and went on the great line, but only helped me for 30. Oh well.
Hey, either way, man, it's cool. Yeah. But yeah, so that's funny, man. One day he'll add some more zeros. That's what I was saying, man. I was like, I'll do it, but I'm gonna have to take off a couple zeros. Can't be doing all that. We'll build the bankroll up and get there. But yeah, so anyway, so it was a good game. Again, not too much, really happened here besides the Higgins. Obviously, it makes Boyd a little more If Higgins can't go, you're obviously throwing Boyd in there, no problem. You're
Yeah.
still starting Chase. So yeah,
And Boyd
other
should
than
be
that,
owned. There should be held by somebody somewhere,
yeah, I was
right?
gonna say he's not on the waivers.
Yeah.
He's gonna be owned. So again, just besides Duvernay, with that 62% on Yahoo is the only reason I kind of brought that up. But folks on Sleeper ain't sleeping on Duvernay, 92% owned. So with that said, man, we finally made it to the end of the show notes there. I don't know if there's anyone from maybe Deion Jackson from the Indianapolis game on Thursday night a long time ago. He might be worth the pickup if for whatever reason Jonathan Taylor might be out because it doesn't look like Hines will probably play this week with his whole concussion because that was a bad one too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other than
Lane
that, in
Hines.
that game, I don't even know who the backup is, and for Wilson if he misses because he went out this week for that shoulder injection with the partially torn kind of labrum, almost like what Baker was dealing with. So other than that, I don't think there's really anybody else. I think we pretty much covered it all, if I
Yeah.
say
No,
so myself.
I think we
So
went
before
through
we
everything.
get past that 2-hour mark, man, again, for those of you guys who are still sticking it out with us, appreciate you liking and subscribing because when we hit that 600 mark, keep the eye out for the video. We're going to drop a whole different video, which will be a giveaway video. So make sure you have those notifications turned on because you don't want to miss out on the video. We'll have you drop a hashtag comment in the comment of that
How long do
video.
they have to respond?
We'll probably run it for about a week. So make sure you get the hashtag in there, and then we'll do the law of drawing live on air and give away the jersey that way. So
I changed the logo to our new sponsor though.
yeah, Trophy Smack.
Give some more feet on that one.
Absolutely. So just go to Trophy Smack. They have some awesome stuff. We'll play a little 20-second clip here for you guys. So you just got to kind of check out what they have. So just give us 20 seconds and we'll be right back and get out of here. Trophy Smack, baby. Use that promo code Get Right. That's awesome, man. That's exciting. They also got rings, chains, trophies. They do the custom engraving, all that stuff. So go check them out, man. TrophySmack.com. The link is in our description. Make sure you use that promo code Get Right. There's some belts. Show them the ring. Keep it going. Show them the ring. They got the custom Debo chains in there. Got the rings going, man. Right, so this stuff's awesome, man. Got the trophies. Have all the champions on there. So it's good stuff. Help spice up your league, man. Makes people play harder. And it'll be fun, man. So other than that, man, again,
for the belts. I like the belts.
Yeah, to me, the belt's almost better than the money, man. Honestly, like I love that stuff more than more than the money. So not like the money's good, but like I'll chop a pot with the money, but I want the belt. Like I'm playing for that.
You need one of them belts for your fantasy. Go in there.
There we go.
Use the Get Right promo code. Save yourself some money. Get it for your league, man.
Browse around. Check it out, man.
I got one for each one of my leagues. About to do another one for next year. I didn't.
Frank and I are the champs right now in our 2 home leagues.
I'm about to take the white one. He's going to take the black one.
Yeah, no, we're about to switch a route right now.
We're going to switch sides. I'm telling you what.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. I'm trying to get both. I'm trying to be the first one to get both.
Oh, that's all I've been trying to do. That's the accomplishment.
We'll see, man.
This is what
we were like.
14 years. You ain't playing. The other day he said, "Hey, we're over here playing chess while everybody's playing checkers," and he wasn't playing. Man, he's doing a lot of moves this year. He's putting his fantasy talk to the walk here, right? You don't want to You don't want to be listening to losers. You want to be listening to fantasy champs, right? So let's keep it real.
I'd have to change my my picture if I do it. So appreciate it, man. Good night.
Good night, man. Thanks for staying on.
Oh, look at that, man. I appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. Get that YouTube Premium, man. I don't know what I would do without YouTube Premium. They don't even pay me to say that. Nah. But other than that, man, I can hang out with you guys all night. Again, if you guys want to, Tycoon, we all know, man, we talk all day long. Dim Boy, shout out to everybody here in the stream, man. Drunk Squidward, Jedi, all the new guys in here. Ron, of course, holding it down. As always. Everybody who's been in here, man. I can't name all the names. We appreciate it, man. For myself, for Frank, for Classic Mike, and for my bro Dustin. Hopefully we can get him on here on Wednesday. But other than that, man, we'll see you guys here Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk roster management. We'll get your lineups right, buy, sell, trade targets. And then, we'll be back on Friday for our start sit. So other than that, anything else you got to say, Frank? Or we out of here?
That's it. We're out of here, man.
All right, 2-hour mark. We done. Peace out, fellas.
Peace
See
out.
you Wednesday.